Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another day, another week of 30 NSG. On today's show, we're going to be talking about the Embracer Group is considering selling Gearbox, reports claim. We're going to talk about Forza. We're not talking about Forza. We're talking about Horizon Forbidden West. Could be getting a new edition. And then we're going to be talking and we're going over a Starfield mod, a Starfield mod video from a content creator named MX who's been doing it for years on Skyrim and Fallout series and stuff like that, and he's back and he's goes over some of the mods that we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about mods. We're gonna talk about mods in Starfield. We had a conversation last week. Do mods fix the game or do they enhance the game? You know, you guys know where I sit. I think they enhance the game. I don't think they fix the game. Are there things that mods fix? Sure, but for most parts, mods enhance the game to make it better for the individuals that want to download those mods. So we'll be talking about all those things on today's show. If you like what we do here, please make sure you hit that like button down below. We're a very small channel, and hitting that like button really helps us and goes a long way for our channel. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, you can become a subscriber. That's also absolutely free as well. And if you want to go above and beyond that, like Silent Warrior did, thank you very much, Silent Warrior, for becoming a Goonie. You can become a member as little as $5 a month, and it does help us out on this channel. Let me see who's in chat. Travis, what's going on? Good morning. Good morning, Silent Warrior. Jesse Mack, Dave Rose. Who am I missing? Sarge, what's going on, Sarge? So welcome. Appreciate you all coming out and hanging out with us in the morning. All we do is read the news, have a conversation with you guys in chat. You're 100% part of the show. And then after that, we kind of just go off into different topics and different things. And I do love talking about it. Let me go to chat and see what people are saying. Travis says, finally got some sleep. So hopefully garbage takes, as you call it, will be at a minimum. I appreciate that, Travis. Like I said, sleep is very important. I've been trying to get better sleep myself this past weekend. Silent Ward says, good morning, 30. Starfield keeps getting better, in my opinion. Uncovering missions, infiltrate the Crimson Fleet is a really good quest line, and I found a way to get a ton of XP from Outposts. I gotta get into Outposts, man. I put my first water pump down or whatever, but I have not dove into it at all. I've been exploring. I've been getting different things without doing any kind of story stuff. I've been doing a lot of delivery missions. I've been doing a lot of random events. I'll tell a story real quick after I say good morning to y'all. Haven't played Baldur's Gate 3. Not a fan of the turn-based, but I think I'll be giving a turn-based another shot once Mario RPG comes out. What's going on, Jesse? Good morning. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Morning, Dave Rose. Don't have to play Baldur's Gate 3 turn-based. You just have to be really good at macro in real time. Baldur's Gate 3, man. It's a fantastic game, and it's sad to me that I can't, because one game takes your time. Obviously, we all have 24 hours in a day, right? Baldur's Gate 3, I have 11 hours into it, and that's all I got. That's all I got. Dave Rose says, mods definitely fix a game when it fixes core mechanics, in my opinion. Travis says, call it whatever you want, but making more enjoyable in any way is a plus. What's going on, Dustin? Did you see Gotham Knights just got rated for Nintendo Switch? I did, Dustin. I did. What's going on, RC Record? What's going on, Dolphin? Brainchild says, sleep. I think you mean Starfield. Starts with S, but that's a lot more fun. Are you enjoying it, Brain? Are you enjoying it? I think I know the answer because I saw the amount of time you've put in. So I was looking at my friends list to see who's got the time on the Xbox. I'm 6th overall, and you're creeping up pretty fast. You're creeping up pretty fast. Travis says 15 hours, and I'm still in Act 1. Baldur's Gate 3 is insane how big the game is. I said this before, Travis. Right? I said this before. I said the amount I'm taking my I'm 11 hours. I'm barely from like the beginning of the game, right? It's a phenomenal game. It's a phenomenal game. The storytelling. Look, I've said it before. I'll say it 1,000 times. Story is king for me, right? If you can get me in your game with story, to me it's a great game, right? Story. I read books for stories. I watch movies for good stories. I watch TV shows for good stories, and I play my games for good stories. What's going on, Soups? Well, I got the hang of Baldur's Gate, taking my time with it. Lots to learn. Oh, yeah. Lots to learn. All right, so on today's show, we're going to be talking about Embracer Group, Horizon Forbidden West, and we're going to go to Starfield Mods as well. I want to tell you a story what happened in Starfield this weekend. It was insane, right? So, minding my own business, not doing anything kind of important, just on a planet. Ship lands on the ground. I take out the 3 guys outside of the ship. I think it was Valroon. I think they were there, right? So I kill them. I go inside the ship. Okay. I thought I killed everybody in the ship, but apparently there was 1 person left over. So as I kill the guys on the dock or on the deck, I leave the ship, right? I'm leaving the ship, and all of a sudden the engines kick on and the door starts to shut, right? And I'm like, what the hell? So I leap out before the doors shut on the thing, but my companion doesn't. Okay. So I fall out of the air. We're a good 40 feet up in the air, and I fall down. I use my jetpack, land on the surface, and I look around, and I'm like waiting for my companion to come out of the ship. She never does, right? And I'm like, okay, like, where did she go? So now I'm on the planet by myself, right? And I'm like, all right, whatever. So I continue doing my thing. Okay, I continue doing my thing, and I go to this science center. I complete the whole science center by myself, or the science outpost by myself. I go back to my ship. I lift up into the atmosphere, and I see the same ship that's just floating in space now, right? Floating in space. And I'm like, that looks like the ship that was on the planet. So then I go up to the ship because it's not moving, and I dock with the ship. And when I go inside, my companion is on the ship, and she killed the 4th guy, or the last guy that was in the room on the deck. I was like, this is amazing how it just happened, because for a second I was like, oh, she'll just respawn in. But no, she didn't respawn in, because she was still in the instance, or whatever you want to talk, like whatever it is, right? Because of the engine. So she's still in the ship that was up in space, and she continued fighting and killed the 4th person on the last person, I should say, not the 4th person, the last person on the ship. And then she was just floating in space. Now, obviously, she probably would have spawned in back on me if I teleported out of the area, right? And she would have just been on my... But the fact that she continued to do her job while I did my job, right? She was stuck on a ship and then destroyed somebody, and then she was just stuck. She was just stuck in space, which I think that's awesome. I think that's amazing how that happens. What's going on, Barry? Coolest thing for me is meeting yourself. Barrier. No. You cannot say stuff like that. That is spoil. That is spoiler. Don't spoil stuff for the other people. Don't spoil stuff for other people. That's just a dick move. Come on, Cookie. Yeah, just stuff like that that's going on in the game is just amazing. Yeah, if you want to talk about that stuff, you put it in our Discord, you put it in the Starfield section, and you put spoiler. And if someone wants to talk to you about it, they can talk to you about it, but don't do that. The biggest shock is the whole game is when you realize you're less attractive Nathan Fillion from Firefly. Yeah, I would take a less attractive Nathan Fillion. All right, let's go to the first story. Let's go to the first story. All right, Embracer Group is considering selling Gearbox. Okay, selling Gearbox reports claim the Swedish company slashed its earning forecast after a major deal fell through. Okay, so we talked about this deal a couple weeks ago. Okay, we talked about this deal a couple weeks ago about how the $2 billion deal didn't go through, and we're like, well, what's going to happen? Well, we see the repercussions of it, right? They shut down the studio for Saints Row violation, right? They are now in the speculatively right now. The Swedish company is trying to get rid of Gearbox and selling Gearbox. Now, Embracer is considering selling Gearbox software according to a new report. Now, The Swedish company is looking to options for the Borderlands studio that is also on sale is one of those options. The publication cites that 3 people familiar with the matter, speaking under the anonymity, also reiterate that the sale is only beginning considered at the stage and may not happen. Now, 2 of the sources claim Embracer has received interest from a third party keen on buying the studio and has weighed up its possibility of selling it. Potential buyers, who are reportedly main consist international gaming groups, already have access to Gearbox marketing materials, it's claimed. Now, Embracer is in the process of restructuring after announcing its May and major deal had fallen through unexpectedly at the last minute, causing it to slash earnings forecast and resulting in a non-divisive share by over 40%. So it was later reported that Axios, a deal question was $2 billion partnership with a Saudi Arabian government-founded Savvy Games Group, which lasted about 7 months for negotiation before Savvy pulled out the deal. Now, this has led to the Embracer announcing in June that it's implementing a new restructuring program, excuse me, which will see some studios close and some projects cancel. Now, Embracer acquired Gearbox in 2021 for up to $1.4 billion, and since then has made numerous other high-profile purchases, including the rights of Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. Last year, a Swedish company acquired a large part of Square Enix Western development arm for $300 million, and the deal saw Embracer becoming owner of Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, Square Enix Montreal, and the catalog of IPs, including Tomb Raider and Deus Ex. Okay. Well, you know, when we're in talks of, obviously, if Gearbox is going to be sold, there could be that other company that buys them. But there's also the 2 big guys in the room, right? PlayStation could pick up Gearbox. That would be a huge pickup for them. And Microsoft could just pick up yet another one to start putting stuff on Game Pass. Okay? Now, the next Borderlands game could be on Game Pass. I believe some Borderlands games are already on Game Pass, if I'm not mistaken, or were at some point on Game Pass. This is what happens, though, when companies buy up stuff, right? All these companies buy up stuff, and if they don't continue to make money, people start losing their jobs, okay? Studios, it doesn't matter. People look at big companies like Microsoft and said, oh, well, they're ruining companies. Look at Embracer Group. They own 140 or 136 different studios. And within just the last 2 weeks, they've already closed multiple studios down, and now this one's up for sale. So it's very interesting to see what the Embracer Group is. Everyone's like, oh, Embracer Group, you know, is God sent to save the industry from Sony and from Microsoft and from EA. But yet Embracer Group is gobbling up all these companies, and now they're reconsidering, or I'm sorry, what was the word they were using? Restructuring. The restructuring program that they're doing with their studios inside the Embracer Group umbrella. So, to me, this is bad. I mean, I guess good for Gearbox. Gearbox is in flux anyway, right? I think they peaked at Borderlands 2, and then since then, Borderlands 3 didn't come out very good. Tiny Tina's Wonderland came out. It was good reviews and stuff like that, but it was just kind of mid-tier. Kind of people forgot about it real fast. The movie that was supposed to come out got delayed, and now it's even farther delayed because I don't think they want to release it during the actor strike and whatnot. So there's a lot going on with Gearbox and with Randy Pitchford with that company. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, or if you're watching this live, let me see what you guys are saying in chat. Gearbox worth buying for Half-Life alone. What are they doing with that, right? I mean, they did Half-Life Alyx, right? Isn't that what the game that came out, was that 3-4 years ago already with a VR one? Half-Life's still one of the best franchises ever made. Yeah, for the time frame when it came out, Half-Life was an amazing thing. I mean, overall, I'll give you that, Barry, right? I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Half-Life was a really good franchise. But so was, back then, Kingdom Hearts is also, right, was very popular back then during that era. Wreckers is married in games, as Sarah and me are rich, and we're fancy clothes and live in a sky-rise apartment. Kylo, Borderlands 3 was a bit of a step back, but still Borderlands is great. Oh, for sure. Borderlands as a franchise is fantastic. Borderlands 1 and 2, me and Sarge played the absolute crap out of Borderlands. Love Borderlands. But then the company itself, Gearbox, made some bad decisions, in my opinion, right? Made some bad decisions, and I personally boycotted Borderlands 3, and I was excited about it before, but then I boycotted it for other reasons besides the game coming out being bad or anything. Just as a company, they made bad choices, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to support that. And then we did pick up Wonderlands last year. Was it last year? Or was it 2 years ago? It was last year, right? 2022. We played it. Didn't really enjoy it though. Like, I liked it, but didn't love it, right? I'm not going to say it was a bad game. It was a fun game, but it burned out. The candle burned real fast on Tiny Tina's Wonderland. And I know they had DLCs and stuff, but still a fun game. Travis says Half-Life series I never played. I'm not sure if it's a good based on what I've seen it, but maybe if I played it, options would change. It's going to be really hard. It's one of those games, Travis, that the graphics are so, like, not pixelated, like polygon. Like, I don't know if your brain would take it anymore, right? It was a wonderful game back in the day. Half-Life is dead. 3 is a myth. Brainchild says Half-Life was a lot of people's whole life. Yeah. I agree. Gearbox is not what it used to be, and the franchise peaked at Borderlands 2. But you know, it's when I said that, and I do mean it. There's a lot of games. There's a lot of games that come out, and you look at when the first game comes out, and you're like, oh man, this is a lot of fun. And then they take what they learned from the first game and then make that second game, and they raise the bar. That's what Borderlands 2 was. Borderlands 2, like, raised the bar on everything they did in Borderlands 1. The story, the antagonist. Handsome Jack is one of the best villains. I'm not even going to say in video games. I think he's one of the best villains ever, right? In film and television. Like, he's up there, right? He's one of the best villains ever created. And it peaked there, right? Where I'll make an example of Star Wars, right? New Hope was amazing, right? But Empire Strikes Back, in my opinion, like, raised the bar and then really did something special. Now you're super hyped. And then when Return of the Jedi came out, you're like, that's Borderlands in a nutshell, right? Borderlands 1 was like, oh my God, this is so good. Borderlands 2 came out, you're like, oh my God, this is great. And then Borderlands 3 came out, and you're like, Mass Effect, same thing. Mass Effect 1, so good. Then Mass Effect 2 came out, amazing. And then Mass Effect 3 was like, right? It fell off big time. Still good. But you're so hyped after 2, you go to 3 and you're like, Overall, the whole series is fantastic. Didn't help that the DLC was just dungeons. But that's just it, though, right? Like, it would have been okay if it was dungeons, but people in Borderlands 2, we would just farm bosses. We didn't even care about dungeons or not. You know what I mean? It was like Wonderlands was just smaller. Just everything was just smaller in the whole thing. I like the concept. Kyle says, yeah, Borderlands 2 was such a great game. Everything from the first game, but just new levels. Right. Handsome Jack is one of not the greatest villains in literal history. I'm telling you, people might think I'm crazy, but I honestly think he was one of the best written characters. In video games, I would think he's one of the best villains. Hands down. Oh, hold on one second. I got someone back into my driveway. Hold on one second. All right. The tree guys coming because of the storms. They want to make sure all the branches and stuff are trimming some trees. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Handsome Jack is one of the best, greatest villains in literary history. Same with Terminator. Terminator 2 was a huge film. Good one, Twisted, right? Terminator 1, amazing film, right? When you saw that in the 80s, But then when James Cameron made Terminator 2, it was like next level. You were like, this movie is lit. And then there was like the third one, and then the fourth one, and the fifth one. It peaked. It peaked at the 2, right? I really like Borderlands 3. I don't see the hate, but 2 is definitely the best in the franchise. I'm not saying Borderlands 3 was garbage, Rose. What I'm saying is that Borderlands 2 was the peak, and then it's hard to do this all the time. You know what I mean? It's hard to constantly go up when you make a game like that. Star Wars Battlefront 2 count for Rise the Bar, putting 3 era of Star Wars and Heroes. You know, Ackman just came out with a video, Jesse Mack, talking about where is Star Wars Battlefront 3. I think they are going to make a Battlefront 3. Obviously, they're not saying they are. There's a lot of evidence that there isn't. I don't know if it's Battlefront 3, but they're going to make another Battlefront game. You know what I'm saying? So he came out with a video saying there's only 2, and he made a joke. You know, there's only 2, no more, no less. Like, they made Battlefront 1 and 2, and then years later they made Battlefront 1 and 2, but they never made a third. It was quite poetic. Quite poetic. Brainchild says, Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2 had great writing as well. Borderlands 3 took a nosedive because they started virtual signaling and changing things to appease. Sure, that's also the time frame we were in as well. That's a good point. I haven't tried Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Is it worth checking out? I would say it's worth checking out if you can get it on sale. Like, is it... Let me see what it's at right now. If it's on sale... If you can pick it up, let's see. Is it still full price? $90. $60? Yeah, $60 I think is too much right now. $60 right now. If you can get it on sale, I would say $30-$40. I would say it's worth it, Kylo. In my opinion. And unless you're like a really, really big Borderlands fan and you want to get it, but it's nothing to write home about. You know what I mean? Same with the original Star Wars trilogy. In my opinion, Empire was the best of the 3. Same, Makoki. Same. It must be the odd one out, like Terminator 1. Way better. I like the feel more of the Terminator being a bad guy. Oh, no. But I see what you're saying. Look, movies are subjective. I'm talking about just the masses, right? Terminator 1 was an amazing film, right? I had nightmares that Arnold was like chasing me in my dreams when I was a kid. Okay, like I love it. But Terminator 2, just they raised the bar. More action, more things, right? It was just a peak, and then it fell off there. That's all. Same can't be said for Destiny. Love the first game, Destiny 2, was never as good for me personally. Yeah, but Twisted, it potentially you could look back at this, right? If they make a Destiny 3, you could look at it and go, right now, well, obviously right now, for me, Destiny 1 is better. I agree with you 100%. Destiny 1 is better than Destiny 2. But when you look at Destiny 3, if Destiny 3 comes out, years later, you might look at it and go, oh, you know what? Destiny 2 was pretty good compared to... They did raise the bar. They did change a lot of things in Destiny 2. I just didn't like the way they went. But I do agree with you that Destiny 1 is better. Yeah, Destiny 1 was much better, in my opinion. Changing loot midgets to whatever less gritty writing. Oh, yeah, I forgot that they did that, Brain. They changed it because they didn't want to offend anybody anymore. Changed the fundamental aspect of what happens in the game because of real life in a game that's fantasy. It's mind-boggling to me when they do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, why do that? Why change something? It's like when what's his name? What's the guy's name from Game of Thrones? Peter Dinklage, right? From Destiny, right? He complained that, you know, it's stereotypical that the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs You know, aren't we over this? It's literally a story that was told. It's a fantasy. There's no reason that it's you have to take real life and like change the things and whatnot. It's literally a fantasy story told in a book. And now they're making a movie and he's like, it's offensive. And it's like, it's a fantasy where there's like trolls and goblins and, like different things in like in those fantasy type of stories. And then the people that actually want to play the roles can't play the roles because one of their one of the dwarfs was like, this is offensive. And everyone's like, well, I want to work. I want to have a job. Go on, water. I had a good weekend. Side note, my son, all of you guys have children in some way, shape, or form. If you don't, the ones that do understand this, right? Since COVID happened a couple years ago, I don't know how it was for a lot of you new parents that were coming up and having kids and going to school and whatnot. But for the longest period, for 2 years, nobody would want to come over, hang out, do stuff. So my son, he's an only child, right? I only have one kid. We have a cousin that lives next door and he plays and stuff like that. But every time he had a friend at school, their parents would never let them come over or go meet somewhere or do something because everyone's afraid of, whatever. So my son this year started a brand new school and he met a friend at school and they just hit it off. They have so much in common and they planned to hang out. And then on Friday after school, they're like, hey, can we go to the park and hang out? My buddy wants to hang out. I'm like, yeah, cool. And we got to meet his family and friends, or his family and siblings, not friends. And it was just cool. It was cool. It was nice too, because as an adult, we've met people before, but then COVID happened and then the world changed. So it was nice to hang out with another family with our children hanging out and having a blast, right? So it's nice because I've known my best friend since birth, right? Me and my best friend, we're infants, next door neighbors. Our parents were friends before we were friends. So I've known literally my best friend since, for 45 years. So it's nice to see that my son might be getting that friendship starting to go after these weird times that we live in. So we had a good weekend. There's so much hand-holding in some games. Destiny 1 just dropped you in the universe and left you, and that was how much... Twisted, I love that you just said that, right? And I think this is one of the reasons that I don't remember people bitching and moaning about Destiny when it first came out, going, I don't know what to do. It's too big. I'm lost. I don't know where to go. I remember people jumping in and not talking about that because they just love the gameplay. They love these shooties and the pew 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 pew, and the aliens and all the other stuff that you were fighting. And it was just a really cool moment in Destiny, right? As much as I don't like Destiny right now, I loved Destiny. That feeling it gave me when I played that game, it was phenomenal. But no one bitched about, it's too big. I don't know where I'm going. They just played the game and enjoyed the game and played it so much. You knew the routes and where to go and the secret passages and all the other stuff. It was amazing. It was good. Nice one, Travis. That's a good joke. I don't understand why people care about Dinklish's opinion. It just doesn't measure up. I'll give you a clap. Not a full clap, though. Not a full clap, but it's good. Go on, Robert. What's funny is it's starting to pick back up, apparently. They're talking about locking it down for the fall again, which is insane. It's definitely making younger crowds socially awkward. It's very strange. Not in Florida, though. Not in Florida, water. My son just started kindergarten. Can't wait for him to start having friends over. I hope that's a thing, Dolphin, because what Water's saying, if that happens again, man, it puts a someone just pulls the handbrake. You know what I mean? Gear? What gear? Just social awkwardness, big time. Gamers want their hands held now. I think there was always a time, Rose, that people certain games. I remember Assassin's Creed. I forget if it was. pardon me here because I don't remember, because I didn't play Origins, I didn't play Odyssey. I'm trying to remember the buzz around it. Was it Origins or Odyssey, or was it Valheim not Valhalla, not Valheim. Sorry. Valhalla. Was it those were being like, it was too big, they didn't know what to do, right? Assassin's Creed started doing that, like open world games. They were just like, even No Man's Sky, people were a little reluctant to be like, reluctant to be like, I don't know what to do. I'm very confused. They're overwhelmed by all the stuff that was happening. When a game's too big, people need that direction. And when a game does give them direction, then they complain that it's too short, type of stuff, right? Water says, I love how Starfield does not hold your hand. I love the openness of it. I don't know about hand holding, but I love how Baldur's Gate 3 does. It gives you a basic idea where you want to go, expects you to figure it out for yourself. Yeah, but a lot of games are doing that now, right? So, perfect example, right? A lot of people are giving shit to Starfield for not, for not telling you what to do, and there's a lot of things that you have to figure out. But people praise the other one because of what, right? And I think there's a bias. I do. I think there's a bias more than just that the game is bad. I think it's because of the situation that particular game is in. Bear says, my 3-year-old played and finished Paw Patrol in about 2 weeks. I was so proud of him. And I was about to, I completed Zelda. What is that? The Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom. My son started playing games around 3 years old as well. Right. Just like nudge you in the right direction, right? Perfect example for kids, right? You don't pick up your kid and try to make him walk, right? You kind of just nudge him in a way, and you let him go. Or riding a bike, you're like, yeah, I'm holding on, and you're like, all right, see you later. And they're like riding a bike, you're like, are you still holding, Dad? You're like, yeah, I'm still holding. And then they turn around and they crash, right? That's what you're supposed to do. I'm teaching my kid how to skateboard right now, right? Right? Not that I was like a professional skateboarder in any way, shape, or form, but my kid wants to skateboard. So I took him to a skate park. Okay. My wife was a nervous wreck because, we got the pads and stuff on him and whatnot. And I'm pushing him in the vert ramp, right? Pushing him back and forth so he can get the balance going up the hill and stuff like that. And he didn't get it right away. So what happened? He went up, and when he came back, his body went, instead of going with the board, he went whoop and just ate it. I mean, we got it on video. It's so good. Like, he just destroyed himself, right? And he got up. He's like, ah. I was like, get back up. Get back on the board. Did he fall again? No, he didn't. Okay. Right? He got back up on that board, and now he's just, I mean, we're on the early stages, like 1 week of practicing on a skateboard. He's like, show me. I'm like, Dad's not getting on that thing. Dad's got a broken tailbone from 15 years ago, and if I hurt myself, I'm out. No, Water. He didn't go, no, he didn't do that. It's weird that he can't in any game, Mass Effect or Baldur's Gate 3 or Dragon Age. I just can't bring myself to make an evil decision. You should have saw my wife. Like, she was holding the camera and she's like, ooh. Yeah. She's like, oh my God, I can't look. I can't look. Oh, he watches the other kids. And I was like, boy, you gotta crawl before you can run. We're at the skate park. And we're just watching these guys just shred it, man. Just shred it, doing all these tricks and all these things. And he wants to just get on the board and go. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't work that way. I was like, doesn't work that way. Let's start with the basics first. Let's see if you can stand on the board while it's moving up a hill, right? And then try to kick your foot back so you can brake and whatnot. Record says I'm level 61 in Starfield. 28 of those points came from growing drugs. It's a fantastic way to level up. I have to really invest in the setup. I haven't done an outpost yet. I have like a I have a Fisher Price. I have a Fisher Price one. I haven't done anything. Oh, Travis, you don't even know. She was like, I was like, stop it. I was like, stop it, woman. I was like, you can't hug him in front of these people at the skate park. He's getting cred. You can't do that. You got to get the respect of everyone else that's there, because then other people start seeing it and they help him out, right? There's a bond, man. There's a bond about the people at a skate park, right? The BMXers and the skateboarders, like they'll talk crap to each other, like the ones that are really good if they mess up, but they're very encouraging at the same time. And if someone needs help, they all try to teach them and help them and give them hints and stuff. That's what's cool about it. That whole thing. Come on, boss. Did you watch the Giants game? No, I didn't watch any of it, but I did see the final score. It's about what I thought. Yeah, I didn't watch any football. I didn't watch any football. You like rub some dirt in it despite knowing that doing that would infect the cuts. Absolutely. Right. You want to stop that bleeding? Get some mud. Put the mud on there. I spent yesterday on Boulders. No football for me. Yeah, I didn't watch it. We don't have regular cable, so I don't have anything to watch. Last night the game was on. I think, was it on? Oh wait, no, it's on NBC. Yeah, I don't have it, so I can't really watch football. I would have to go somewhere to watch it, or try to find someone like streaming it or something off of non-legally off the internet. But yeah, I'm not a big. I don't really follow it much anymore. I keep track of it, but I don't watch it like I used to back in the day. All right. Let's go to the next story here. Next story. We got Horizon Forbidden West could be getting a new edition. New information reveals that Sony and Guerrilla Games could release a new edition of Horizon Forbidden West in the future. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't. It's a very successful, 1 and 2. I think 2 did much better than 1, if I'm not mistaken, right? Horizon West could be getting a re-release as a complete edition of the game, as appeared in the rating board. Horizon Forbidden West offered a massive jump from the original game, as players had access to a greatly expanded skill tree, new weapons, and new different ways to traversing the world. Now, developer Guerrilla Games released a DLC titled The Burning Shores early in 2023, adding new enemy type, weapons, outfits, and more to the game. Both Horizon Forbidden West and the Burning Shores DLC received positive reviews from critics, as they have a score of 88 and 82. Wait a minute. An 88 and 82, isn't that a trash game, though? Isn't mid-80s a trash game? 88 and 82s? I mean, that's what I've seen on the internet recently in the last couple of days and weeks. 88s and 82s are just trash, just mid-tier. They're just bad games, respectively, on Metacritic. Now, new information now suggests that Sony will release another edition of Horizon Forbidden West, and presumably comes with its add-ons. Now, as a report of Video Game Chronicle, Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition has been spotted in Singapore ratings board. It mentions that Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition will launch in 2023 on PlayStation 5, but doesn't offer any further details. Judging by this listing, it appears that Sony will combine Horizon Forbidden West and the Burning Shores DLC into a one package, allowing users to get the full game in one go. That seems smart, right? Now, this news probably doesn't come surprise to many fans, as Guerrilla Games has followed similar practices in the past. Horizon Zero Dawn came out in the first few months of 2017 with the Frozen Wilds DLC launching later that year. Now, Sony launched a complete edition of Horizon Zero Dawn that combined both the original title of DLC into the package, and one version was released in PC in 2020. Now, Sony has previously confirmed that the plans to release the single-player titles on PC a few years after the launch of PlayStation 5 versions, so Horizon Forbidden West will probably come to PC in forms of a complete edition. Additionally, Guerrilla Games has released several updates for Horizon Forbidden West that fix bugs and make an important quality of life changes, so PC players will be able to take advantage of these features whenever it launches. Now, it'll be interesting to see if Sony decides to price the game. Now, as Horizon Forbidden West was currently available on PlayStation Plus Extra and premium subscribers at no extra cost, Horizon Forbidden West was a full-price game at launch, while the Burning Shores DLC is available for $20. So the addition of the game may sell for $70 and the standard price of the new Sony first-party title. So wait a minute. You can actually play PlayStation 5 version of Horizon Forbidden West will probably come to PC, and additional Forbidden West is to fix the bugs. Wait, I'll be interested to see how Sony decides to price the game. Horizon Forbidden West is currently available on PlayStation Plus premium subscribers at no extra cost, and Horizon Forbidden West at full price game. So they did put it on the PlayStation Plus. Maybe I'll rent it instead of buying. Horizon Forbidden West, was it just PlayStation 5, or was it PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and then the DLC is just 5? I think the DLC is just 5, correct? Cujo. Anything short of 99 is garbage. This I'll take it. Try one day at a time. Okay, that. Water says, I have to finish the first one. Start the second one. It's pretty amazing, to be honest. I just didn't have the time because, well, Starfield. Spider-Man 2 drops next month. Mid-80s is trash. Burn it down. Exactly, right? I think Spider-Man 2 is going to do... I mean, what did the first one get? What did the first Spider-Man rating get? Oh my God, an 87? It's garbage, isn't it? 87 is garbage, isn't it? That's what I heard. Again, from the internet. That's what I heard from the internet. I heard like top mid-80s, low 80s. Anything in the 80s is just garbage. That's what I heard. Yeah, it's a trash game. Yeah. I think it gets about what it is there, right? It gets a mid-tier, mid-average garbage score of 87. No, I think it'll get like a 90, probably. I'm telling you that Starfield is an 87, yet people are laughing about it. I've had such a good year that an 87 is okay, and it'll be that good. Well, I would like to know something, right? Because let me see something. Let me see something here. Like, I played this game, right? This is on PC rating, right? This right here is a 66. Now, I'm not going to tell you what game it is right now. I'll show you in a second. 66. And I don't remember people saying that this game was trash. They just talked about the frames per second and that they didn't like it or whatnot. But this, Gotham Knights, 66, okay? And people don't talk as bad about this game as they do about Starfield right now. Just saying. Just saying. Now, I did enjoy Gotham Knights, but I also, you know, knew that it had flaws. I do like a lot of games that have flaws, but a 66 and no one's giving as much shit to this game as they give to Starfield, right? But hey, you know, each their own, I guess. PlayStation 4 and 5, DLC only 5. So it is the DLC only 5. Okay. First Spider-Man was 100. Anyone who says otherwise is wrong. I think it'll be in the 90s. I do. I think it'll be like in the 90s. Which is better than an 87, right? But here's the thing, though. It's not going to get what I say it is, because there's going to be so many people that review bomb Spider-Man just because of the fact, because people review bomb Starfield, because Sony ponies and Xbots are the worst humans possible on the planet, right? Just the worst. They're like, well, you shit on my game, so I'm going to shit on yours. They said it will never play Starfield, but admit it looks like a good game. Boss, look, all joking aside, are there things bad with Starfield? 100%. If you like RPG type stuff, The story, not the main story, not just the main story, the story that's happening in Starfield, it's a good game. And I think you like good games, right? I'm not saying it's an amazing game. I'm not saying it's the perfect game in the world, but I think you would actually like the story of Starfield. Problem is the most reviewers don't know their ass from their hole in the ground. That's right. Gotham didn't get all the hype. This is why people just swept it aside. Right, but what I'm saying is this 66 or 80, when people are like, oh, it's an 85, it's garbage. It's like, what? I hate that one person says something on Twitter and everyone grabs that and screen grabs it, and then everyone starts to overflow into the this is garbage type of thing. I think it's going to be a 94 just because. I would agree with you, Water, but we won't know that because the score is going to be so skewed because people are going out of spite. There was already people on the internet saying they were going to review bomb Spider-Man just the fact because they review bombed Starfield. I mean, it's so ridiculous to me. So ridiculous to me. Yeah, Cujo, you can't look at the score. Just don't even worry about the score. Don't worry about scores anymore. Scores don't mean shit anymore to the population of planet Earth, right? Scores, okay, there's a difference between we talked about this Friday night a little bit when I was playing Starfield, right? Scores from outlets affect money for the actual games. Scores from Tom, Dick, and Jane, people like myself on the internet that have no following mean absolutely nothing, right? People from big YouTube content creators do sway a lot of people because people are lemmings. People can't think for themselves. So if said content creator says certain things, they're like, oh, I believe that. That's what I believe too, right? And that's the way things work, right? But the big outlets are the ones that like screw bonuses and stuff like that and sales. Where if I tell you a game is good or bad or you should give it a shot or whatever, that's not swaying anybody, right? That's not swaying anybody. The critic side, take what it should get and add 5 because of Sony. I would say I've always said this with movies, right? Because you always get the review bombers that give it shit scores for movies, and then people that are love fanatics and they give it high scores. You look at the critic score, you look at the normies score, and you meet halfway. So if the normies give it 100 and the critics give it a 50, it's a 70 movie, right? If they give it 100 and the critics give it an 80, it's around a 90. You know what I'm saying? You always take the average of the two and then put it together. At least for movies. I don't know if it works the same way as far as for video games because it's such a harsh rating, right? I mean, I went to, because one of the podcasts were talking about how Starfield on Xbox itself was getting like a 7, it's like a 3.9 or whatever out of 5 or whatever it is, or a 7.3 or whatever the hell it is, right? And I was all right. So I went to the review score, like the reviews in the game, and 100% that the people, I don't know if they paid $1 just to do it because people would, right? People would. But you look at the reviews of like what's great and you read and you're like, this person didn't play the game. They just saying stupid shit. They're just saying stuff that has nothing to do with the game. Same with people that review bomb it. Water says, I guess Starfield is bad, as they say. Just look at how many are watching Co play it over on Twitch right now. How many people are watching him right now? I wish reviews were just weren't as important. I find it better to watch a video from a trusted YouTuber with just a number. You're missing a lot of context. I agree, Makoki, and this is why I don't do scores. People ask me, what do you score? I mean, to me, Starfield is an A, but an A is an assortment of all things that are happening in the game, right? In no way, shape, or form, I would get a lot of games would be an A to me, right? But that's not a score to grade them as you should buy it or not. Just the quality of the game, right? Are there glitches? Are there bugs? Are there things that are not, I love the people that take the clips of all the NPCs in the background and they look how bad they look, but they don't give you pictures of how good the main protagonists look in the game. You know what I mean? Great idea, 30. From now on, person review bombs, we actually bomb them. Wait, scratch that. Reviewers need to be tied for the gamer tag. You should prove that for some hours into the game before being able to review it. There's all, yeah, but even the review thing like that, we had a conversation the other day, and people disagree with me, right? Certain games you can beat in 5 hours. Other games you can beat in 100 hours. I think you have to play a majority of the game, if not all of the game, as a outlet. I'm not talking about you personally and have where you can talk. Like, if you play 10 hours of a game, you could give your opinion on that, okay? And that's fine, right? Anybody that played it can give an opinion up to a certain point, right? If you played 5 hours and someone played 20 hours, you can give me your opinion on the 5 hours that you played. You can give me an opinion on 20 hours that you played. But for outlets, for people that actually get paid for their job to give reviews, in my opinion, they have to complete the game 100%. Did you see the video from Asmongold with the weird-ass spider-looking spaceship? No middle. Oh, yeah. I didn't see Asmongold's video on that, but I did see a clip of someone that figured out in Starfield, okay, that if you, based on what your ship is, right? So it goes from outer point to outer point and then down the middle, right? And it figures out the middle of the ship. And so when someone shoots at your ship, it aims towards the center of your ship. So if the middle is 5 this way and 5 this way, okay, and the middle would be, directly in the middle of that 5, okay, if you just shift your main cabin over one slot, so it's, 6 this way, 4 this way, and you're on the 4, when they shoot, they'll be missing you, and you never get damaged. Now, obviously, people take advantage of that. But at the same time, it's like, why? I don't want to say why would you play that way. Anyone plays the game how they want, right? Anyone play the game exactly how you want. To me, that would get boring after a while because, one, you don't even need to go into space. And if you go into space and not even to want to engage with space, then why even do that anyway? But again, play the game how you want, right? Play the game how you want. If this was an online multiplayer game, then it would be fixed immediately. But because it's a single-player game and you want to take the mass and move it over where you never get shot and you never blow up and you never have any kind of thing, obviously that's a glitch, right? That's taking advantage of something. It's like putting a code in for unlimited health or whatnot. By all means, play. There's nothing wrong with it because it's a single-player game and people can play how they want to play. But I did see that. Man, they're good at math for figuring that out. Well, they just realized where they were getting shot, right? So they tested it out, Water, and they're like, all right, well, if I'm getting shot here, if I move this over, is it still going to shoot here? And they're like, no, it shoots here. So now people are making ships with like holes in the center, or they make it like an L shape, and they do a bunch of stuff. I personally like the ship combat, and I'm starting to get good. I died a couple of times in space, but now I'm actually doing really good by switching my engines and doing all the stuff, and I'm starting to... I rearranged my ship. My ship looks really good now. Combo. Okay, so high time. We all admit the truth. Mass Effect needs an MMO. I mean, I would love an MMO Mass Effect, Travis. I think that'd be great. Let's go back to the topic of Horizon Forbidden West, right? That's a hugely successful franchise for Sony, right? Let's look at Horizon. Was it Horizon Zero Dawn? Or was the first one? Horizon Zero Dawn released on PC August 2020. It had a successful launch, moving 700,000 digital copies. By March of 2022, that number increased to 2.4 million copies. Okay. What was the original that's Horizon Forbidden West. Okay. Horizon Zero Dawn has sold over 20 million copies since launch, right? And what did it come out in 2017, 2018 when it launched? It's 2017, February of 2017. Man, was it that long ago? That's crazy. So Horizon Zero Dawn came out in 2017. Since then, over the years, it's selling 20 million copies, right? Which is fantastic, right? Fantastic. Now, Forbidden West. Okay, so Forbidden West has sold 8.4 million copies, taking the lifetime franchise sales to 32.7 million units. So that's a lot. Now, it only sold 8.4, but that's only been 1 year, right? So now let's check back 5 years from now and see if it's at the same 20 million units that it has. Now, obviously, that's not at full price, right? Because a lot of people get it on sale, or they'll reestablish it or put it together with a bundle or whatnot. But that's a popular franchise, man. I see them obviously making a third one. They've already made a VR one, and they're also made the DLC, and they're going to have like some sort of there was a talk about an MMO for Horizon Forbidden, or Horizon, which I think would be an interesting. I wonder if they make an MMO, if it's more like an Ark or like a Conan type of game. Who just says I was not a fan of Horizon Forbidden West, didn't like nearly as much as the first. I have very little knowledge of Forbidden West. The people that I watched play the game, one, and I'm sure they fixed this, I couldn't get past it because it's a third-person game. Her hair was constantly doing this. Maybe I'm jealous because she had more hair than me, right? And then two, it was the talking of that she was doing. It was like she was talking like to herself, but telling you the answers to like the puzzles and whatnot, right? Now, I'm not saying the game is crap anyway. Those are the two things I noticed when watching people play the game. It's too bad that BioWare just took a big hit. I think they're canceling Dragon Age 4. No, I don't think they're canceling it, Quintar. I haven't heard they're canceling it. I know it's been in development hell, and I did say watch out for Dragon Age 4, but I haven't heard that they're canceling it. Is that something new recently that you saw? If I were Microsoft, I buy Bend Studios right from underneath Microsoft and have them make Days Gone for them. And Sony doesn't think it was a great title. That would be actually pretty. That would be oh man, pour the salt, right? For a fact, Water, the people that love Days Gone, they would be so irritated if they picked that up and made it an Xbox exclusive. Oh my God. Can you imagine the salt, the tears that would happen? People that love it would all of a sudden be like, oh, I fucking hated that game anyway, right? They would be so pissed if that happened. That would be so funny to watch. I don't want it to happen, but man, that would be funny to watch. It's definitely jealousy taking over. Probably, yeah. Paul Giamatti has more hair than me. That's not true. That's not true. I have plenty of hair on my head. Both games were amazing. I have over 200 hours in Forbidden West. Talking was not like that. People blew it out of proportion. Just had in your monologue. No, I get that, Rose. That's what I've noticed. Right, the hair flickering was I'm sure they, like I said, they put that out. But the inner monologue, I asked people that were playing. I was like, is that inner monologue like her talking to herself, or did Guerrilla Studios make that where she's talking to herself, but she's talking to you, right? And obviously it's talking to herself, but talking to you to give you hints and whatnot. I thought it was interesting the way they did it. It was a quick glance, didn't read too much into it. they can't buy Ben Studios. It's a Sony created company, and they'll never let it go. I wonder though if they could. Hold on, let me see. Let me see something. I don't know too much about them. So, what's it called? Bend Studios. Ben Studios is a first-party developer for PlayStation Studios. Yeah, they can't. It's owned by Sony, so they cannot buy them. But man, that would be hilarious if they did. I mean, they own the IP, right? Sony owns the IP, so they couldn't even sell off the IP. Sony Ben. They do own it Now Water. Yeah, so they own it 100%, so they can't get it from them. Yeah, don't just buy them in 2000, but they named Ben Studios because they were also founded in 92, and it was based on Ben Oregon. There you go. Yet Sony claims they were created Ben Studios as its first game was a PSP game for Uncharted. Yeah, Ben Studios founded in 1992. There you go. What other games did Ben Studio make? Let's see, games. What kind of games did they make? They got Days Gone, Siphon Filter. Oh, look at that. Siphon Filter 3, Siphon Filter Low. I love Siphon Filter. Uncharted Fight for Fortune, Burning Skies, Siphon Filter. Man. Love Siphon Filter. I love Siphon Filter. I didn't know. I see back then when I played their games, I didn't really care who the studio was. I love a Siphon Filter. Loved it. That's great. No, I didn't hear that, Travis. Days Gone, greater than Starfield. And that's not knock on Starfield, but Days Gone was an amazing game that deserved far more love. Here we go again. Here we go again. Travis dropping crazy takes, comparing two games that are not even close. Not even close. You know what's greater? Oh, Grand Theft Auto 5 is just so much better than Super Mario Brothers, or Donkey Kong. I mean, it's just hugely, vastly more important than a, like. What are we talking about, Travis? It's not even the same type of game. Oh my god. I mean, and look, Travis, by the internet standards, an 88 is garbage. So what is a 71? What is a 71? You can compare apples and oranges. They're both fruit. Sure, you can compare them. You can compare anything. I can compare airplane to a car. They're both vehicles. Again, you can say that you like a game, and I have no problem you liking games, but you literally compare it to something you're not even playing, right? You played one game, you didn't play the other, and then you have like a garbage take on that, right? Now, I didn't play Days Gone. I didn't play Days Gone. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I also wouldn't say that Starfield is better than it because I never played it. Now, obviously, Metacritic score can agree. I need a space motorcycle in Starfield. That would be amazing, Wreckers. If they could do a space motorcycle. That'd be amazing. I can't wait. I'm going to bring this up all the time for the people that just want to hate on Starfield, because I don't care either way. But when you look at games, games that have the same score as some of the most beloved games out there, and they say that it's garbage, is mind-boggling to me. The user score is a 5. Boss, you understand that the user score is being review bombed, right? You understand that? But Days Gone is Sony's instant victory. I forget what content creator I watched play Days Gone. I thought Days Gone was actually good, Travis. I have no horse in the race, right? I looked at it and went, wow, it looks like a really good game, right? Obviously, I didn't play it, but I thought that was good for what I watched. Oh, but when I'm saying that I want a space motorcycle, I agree with him. I mean, it'd just be cool to have a space motorcycle. I mean, I have no problem with the with walking around the planet. You could there are drugs that you can take to make yourself run faster, right? And if you upgrade your jetpack and do a whole bunch of stuff, you can get around the planet pretty fast. But, you know, someone that doesn't play the game or doesn't play around with stuff wouldn't know that. The user score for Starfield is a 5.6, and the user score for Spider-Man is an 8.7. Happened. What happened? Yeah, some of the stuff that you read for the review scores are just hilarious. Well, it's not even that. You can read some of the reviews. It's everywhere, boss. And a lot of people are like, "Well, you have to own an Xbox to review the thing." And if you read some of the reviews, you would be like, "Yeah, no, that person doesn't own anything." I've seen 1-star scores review say that there's no flora or fauna in a game, so obviously it didn't play the game. Well, I said it, Mo. What I find funny is the people that are complaining that the maps were too small. Remember that. Oh, we only have tiles, and it's ridiculous, right? And now they're complaining that the maps are too big and they need a car to get around. And that makes me chuckle. That just makes me chuckle because every time you load into a thing, it's 16 by 16, the size of Skyrim. It's actually a little smaller. Skyrim was 17 by 17, which is, a little like 2 miles bigger. Okay, or 3 miles bigger, right? I just find it hilarious when someone says the maps are stupid and I can't explore everything because I want a whole world. Yet they give them a 16 by 16. They're like, I want a car. It's just funny to me. It's funny to me. I swear, sometimes both Sony and Xbox fans both make me go, stupid Flanders. That's crazy. I'm Captain Sony, and that's a waste of my time. Okay, boss. There's people right now. I shit you not. Okay, that one there was someone that made 1,000 accounts, 1,000 accounts to review bomb Starfield before the game even came out. Okay, there are people right now making counter accounts so they can review bomb Spider-Man because their life is so meaningless. They have to have something to grasp onto just so they feel like they're being important. Okay, it's insane. It's insane. I still have yet to encounter a jetpack sex, ESRB, but in the rating description for Starfield. 95% of the bad reviews you can tell right off the bat that didn't even play the game. Oh, for sure. It's funny reading some of them. It's funny reading some of them. I want a car just so I can crash it into everything on the screen. 1,000 accounts to review bomb. Yeah, one guy made 1,000 accounts so he could review bomb. There's people like that on YouTube, right? Okay, every once in a while, you'll get someone that comes into YouTube that wants to talk shit, and they'll make an account, and then they'll talk shit, and then you delete them, and then they come back and they're like, you can't get rid of me, because they literally have 1,000 accounts they could just keep making. They make fake emails, they make fake stuff just so they can log in, just so they can do it again. It's insanity. But hey, imagine if they were really productive in life. I want a vehicle so I can do 0G jumps. They feel accomplished. They feel like... Think about this, boss. If someone can do 1,000 reviews and then get people to talk about it, if they can get a big streamer or a outlet to write an article saying a review bombs, someone looks at it and goes, I did that. I did that, right? And they feel like, right? They feel like they've been justified. It's almost like when you watch those movies and shows of like a person that's a serial killer, they're bored, so they leave clues so they can be found, so they can be glorified. You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? Because if nobody knows it's them, then what's the point? You see what I'm saying? Like, if you did 1,000 review bombs, but nobody knew it was you, then what was the point of doing it? Right? They want to know that, haha, I ruined this company, or aha, I ruined the Metacritic score because it's me. And they sit there like, I have an app, and then I have a macro that makes these bogus things. You can see it with movie reviews. You can see it with a whole bunch of stuff. It's amazing. Like, they're so dedicated to their craft. Quite impressive, actually. If they just put that same effort towards like a job, or maybe that is their job. Maybe they get paid for it. I have no idea. Or if they put it into like a hobby, they would actually be like, they could learn a language. They could be like they could work handcrafting wood. Nope. They just want to review bomb stuff just because they feel good about themselves. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, only time I reviewed something was terrible. I was still like 3 pages of review because here's the thing. I don't ever review. I play all these games and I never drop a review. I don't give my thoughts. I don't give a score. I don't give anything because I don't care. I don't care that Gotham Knights got a 66. I don't care. What did Marvel's Avengers get? A 67. Okay, I don't care, right? What else? What other games did we play this year? Right? What did Hogwarts get? Hogwarts Legacy on PC, 83. Well, is that a trash game? Is that a trash game? Right? 83. Game of the year. It's in the conversation for Game of the Year. It's a phenomenal game. Loved it, right? I don't care. 7.9. Because people weren't trying to review bomb it for the game. They were trying to review bomb it for J.K. Rowling's point of view that had nothing to do with the video game, right? Or they couldn't spare time trying to get laid. Maybe they're just so good at it, Demir, that maybe they already got laid and now they have extra time so they could go review bomb stuff. Let me see something. Let me see. Final Fantasy. How come I can't? That's Final Fantasy 7. That's 15. Where's 16? Oh my goodness. How can it be? How can Game of the Year be in the 80s? How can you be in the 80s for a nomination? I don't understand. Final Fantasy 16 in 87, that's a trash game. So far, Hogwarts, trash game. Final Fantasy, trash game. What else we got? What else we got? So somebody is going to be like just passing through and all of a sudden be like, is he crazy? He's saying these games are trash? What did Elden Ring get? Elden Ring got a 96. Elden Ring on PlayStation 5 got a 96. Elden Ring on Xbox Game Pass on X and S got a 96. $96, trash. Has to be 99 or better. Mass Effect, the original Mass Effect, got a 94. Oh, no, Mass Effect 2 got a 94. Mass Effect 3 got an 89. Now, think about that. Ready? So Mass Effect 2 got a 94. Mass Effect 3, which wasn't as good as a game, is spoken of as trash. Mass Effect 3 is trash compared to Mass Effect 1 and 2, and Mass Effect 3 got an 89. Mass Effect Andromeda got a 72. I mean, here, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, the entire series got an 87, which is again, that's a trash game, right? It's a trash game, internet, right? It's insane. It's insane. Do you see how many people are like hating on stuff just to hate on it? Right? They look at games that are the outliers, like a Baldur's Gate 3, like a Legend of Zelda, right? Tears of the Kingdom, where they're like 96s and 97s. Okay. And those are great games, right? Again, I haven't played Zelda. Not for me. Not anymore. Okay. And Baldur's Gate 3, I'm only 11 hours in. Okay. And the time that I put in, I think is phenomenal so far. Okay. I love the actual RP of Baldur's Gate 3. But to say an 87, right? What's another game? What's another game that's in contention for? We know Zelda's 96, Hogwarts 87. What did Armor Core get? Armor Core is not even here. What's happening? Armor Core 6 is not in Metacritic. How does that work? Isn't Armor Core out? I don't understand. Yeah, I mean, Diablo 4. Diablo 4 is another trash game. It's in the 80s, 86. Uh-oh. Watch out. User score 2.0. 2.0. Oh my goodness. Yep, another trash game. Armor Core 6, 86. Man, these are just this year is terrible. This year is just terrible for video games. This year is just terrible for video games. Check general chat. Okay. All right, so this is time for predictions. Which 2023 game will win the most Game of the Year awards? And right now, it says in their Zelda has got the most. Baldur's Gate 3, number 2. Starfield, number 3. Resident Evil, then Street Fighter, then Spider-Man 2. You know, I was watching another podcast. I won't name it, but I was watching a podcast, and they brought up something interesting to me. Actually, I'll bring it up. It doesn't really matter. It's Drop Frames with JP, Co-Carnage, and oh god, what the hell is his name? I forget that. I want to say Zach, but that's his real name. I can't think of his name. You guys will put it. Zeke, that's his name, right? So in Drop Frames, they were talking about, people were talking about Game of the Year. And they said that Baldur's Gate 3, okay, they all love Baldur's Gate 3, right? They think that, but they also think that it's not going to win Game of the Year. And for the reason is they think that it's not mainstream enough. And I thought about that for a second. I was like, whew. I was like, I don't know. It's because it's such a small niche community as a game, right? They still think like Legends of Zelda might take it because, one, it's Nintendo and it's a much bigger brand name. Now, obviously, I don't know what's judged, right? It's people within the industry themselves and the people that vote on it. And that specific Game Awards show, and Keeley's Game Awards, is only 10% of the total vote. So 90% is their peers inside the industry itself. right? And I was like, man, could that be that Baldur's Gate, because is still as massive as it is, and people that love it as much as they do, is it enough to, like, you know, bring home the gold, right? Interesting topic. Just interesting topic. Okay, that's enough. But what game is trash? Because of evidently everything is. Right, Travis, that's the joke, right? That's the joke. That people that say that Starfield is garbage and trash, and it has the exact same Metacritic score, okay, as all the other games, pretty much, majority of the games that are in the running for nominations for Game of the Year this year, right? It's just silly, and that's the point. If I were an action-adventure game in the same vein as Diablo, Path of Exile, or even ARPG with the same graphics and elements, this would be an insane win of Game of the Year. I mean, I still think Baldur's Gate 3 could pull it off. And I think if it does, it says a lot more for the industry. Because even though Baldur's Gate 3 is the hot thing now, this year, the genre of what the game is, I think did more for the industry. Because a lot of people don't like the isometric, RPG, turn-based type of stuff. You know what I mean? I would never say Starfield is trash or garbage. Maybe a dumpster fire. There are moments, Travis, that the game does look bad. But then there's other moments that the game is... It's. Here's another thing that people were comparing to, right? I love the comparison to Cyberpunk and Starfield, right? Because they're both open world RPG type of stuff, right? And they're comparing Starfield now, or I'm sorry, they're comparing Cyberpunk now to Starfield now. Well, why don't you compare 2 years from now, right? Because if they compare the footage from 2 years ago when Cyberpunk launched to Starfield's launch, okay, there's a big difference. Of course, Cyberpunk now is much better. Of course, No Man's Sky now is better than it was when it launched 7 years ago. Okay, now I don't agree that you take all the games from when they launched and see what they are. Of course, they've all been fixed over time, right? Starfield will be fixed over time, which goes into our next story here. Okay, all depending on how you guys look at it, right? I don't personally believe that mods fix a game. I think they enhance the game. I think to fix a game, there's still bugs in Fallout 4 that have never been fixed by Bethesda, right? And Bethesda games are kind of weird. Not kind of weird. They are weird when it comes to the modding community, okay? The modders do so many things, and they do fix things in the game, but I don't think modders fix games. I think they enhance the games because a modder could make something, and not everyone's going to use that mod, right? Not everyone's going to use or think that mod is necessary to make the game experience better, right? But there are tons of stuff of mods that do make it better. So to say that, can mods fix the game? Yes. Do mods fix the game? No, not all mods fix the game. So going into that, we're going to watch Starfield Mods Weekly 2, okay? Round butts, StarUI, and Undelayed Menus, okay? Real quick, this is from MXR. I'm going to give him a like because I already watched this video once, and we're going to watch it again with you guys and see what's going on in the Starfield for mods.
I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know, all the most important mods out of the hundreds that have already been uploaded, because God bless Starfield, but it is not a perfect game. No, it's not. Oh, and by the way, thank you so much for the phenomenal release of episode 1. I haven't felt this happy doing YouTube in many years. It genuinely feels like the happiest reunion I can possibly imagine. First up, boring stuff out of the way, but get Mod Organizer 2. This is the last time I'm going to say it. You're going to regret it.
It's a mod for the mods, right? It's an organizer for mods to put into your game, to organize your mods for your game.
If you don't listen, installing things manually, not worth it.
Starverse, that's right.
There's a
name
beta
for the whole new
release
game
out for Starfield on their Discord. Number 2, the Starfield script extender is out. For modding veterans, need I say more? Just about half of all future mods are going to need this, so might as well get it now. Okay, so now bear with me, okay? There were a lot of UI mods that came out. This is going to go by real quick. I'm going to use few words as possible, right? Like Kevin from The Office. Compact UI. Vanilla UI, fat, bulky, non-efficient. This UI, slimmer. Can be even more slim if want. Affect everything. Buy, sell, ship. Is this confusing? Does this make sense? To you guys? Am I making this too simple? But wait, mission UI also fat. Here come compact.
Now see, does this mod fix the game? No, this particular mod doesn't fix the game. It fixes it for certain people because it just takes things that are this big and shrinks them down, gives more information when you put the stuff. And I think it is a good mod.
Mission UI. Same do, but mission. Okay, enough of that. Starfield can be a very...
Oh, thank you, Water. Right? This game just dropped, and the modding community has made hundreds of mods. It's insane. We're going to look at some of the mods. We're going to look at some of the mods after we look at this mod thing.
Intimidating game at the start because of the sheer amount of clutter and items that are everywhere. It's beautiful, but it's also a looting hell. What is a Grendel? What's that? What's a Grendel? Is that like a Smeagol? Is that like a Dobby? Oh, okay. What is a genetic sample bottle? Is that somebody's...
Real quick, all this stuff in the game, here's a tip for anybody, okay? Everyone's overwhelmed by what they could grab in the game. If you want to grab this really, like, low-end stuff here, okay, and then sell it, by all means, go ahead. But unless it has a name and a description underneath it, don't pick it up, right? If it doesn't have a description underneath it, don't pick it up.
That's why there's icon sorting tags. And this is simply just gonna...
Like, see, this particular thing has a description. It tells you what it does. It has little stats on it. It helps you pick it up. If it doesn't have that, don't pick it up.
I'm going to tell you what kind of item you're picking up with the addition of a simple icon. And this is going to apply across the board, vendors, looting, and I'm not going to lie, he gets very oddly specific. This right here, that's a fucking succulent, okay? He has a succulent icon. Every consumable will tell you exactly what it does if you pay attention to the icons, okay?
I mean, it literally tells you what it does right now in the game. He just makes the mod better.
Okay, now, don't get...
It says, remember 2021 Forza Horizon 5 was a 92 meta and didn't even get a consideration for Game of the Year because they said it was a niche game. Same for Flight Sim. So it's considered a niche. It's possible not get an A. That's very true. That's very true.
Get mad at me here. It's just how the game works. But within the span of only 2...
But didn't Forza Horizon 5 win Best Racing Game that year? Or
2 days. Compact inventory UI was replaced by the Star...
A minute 30, you played Garbage Man Simulator. No, I played Lawnmower Simulator. I played Mechanic Simulator. I haven't played Garbage Man. Or I think it was called Hobo Simulator.
UI inventory. That's right, nullified. Rendered useless in 2 days. That's how fast the modding...
Let me rewind this. Okay. The UI inventory. Compact inventory came out, right?
That's how the game works, but within the span of only 2 days. Compact inventory UI.
So a guy came out with a UI system, and then 2 days later, someone else made a better UI system. So did he fix the fix?
Was replaced by the Star UI inventory. That's right, nullified, rendered useless.
Sure, I would play it. Why not? It's a game. Someone made it. If it's on Game Pass, Travis, I'd play it.
In 2 days, that's how fast the modding community is moving right now. We have a fully functional, complete overhaul of the UI within just a week of the game's release. Guys, we're talking a summary of the quantity.
Now, I like that. I like that. It tells you how many quantity you have and then how much weight is taking up for that section. Now that's a good thing. Now, obviously, that would be a great quality of life thing to put in the game.
And weight of each category in your inventory. And not only compactness, but the addition of property columns that are sortable. We're talking about...
When I look at that, though, now, the way I see that, that's more... I don't know, is that better for you guys or worse? I think my wife would look at this and she would love it because it's like a spreadsheet, right? She's an accountant. She likes spreadsheets. To me, I kind of get bored looking at this stuff. What do you guys think?
Extremely useful information like damage, DPS, mass, value, and even value per mass. I don't think I need to tell you how important this is if you're a true gamer, and if that's too much, you can even...
I mean, more information. That's good information.
Minimize them whenever you want, and if that's too little, you can even add more properties. Everything from weapon.
See, that's nice.
Types to rarity to contraband. You could make your inventory a whole ass Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, see, the Excel spreadsheet thing. That's where I get lost, man. There's just too much information at that point. Just give me the highlights of the good stuff.
If you wanted to. And even more quality of life features. If you're at a vendor, you can display how many of these items you have already in your cargo that you already own, and even the option to transfer entire categories of items between your cargo and inventory. This is great for materials because you were probably going to do that anyways. And you can also set it so that it doesn't transfer anything that's already favorited. There's other things like the scroll bar is wider.
I do wish there was a thing to... So I use the favorite thing as a lock type of thing by the eye, so I can see that it's a favorite, so I don't throw it in. But I wish there was a lock, right? I do wish there was a quality of life where you could lock an item so you don't move it to a different area or sell it.
You've tried to grab onto that baby in the vanilla version, and you've missed several times. Okay, don't lie to me. I know you did. Okay, it happened to me too. Nothing to be ashamed of. It's fatter now. It's nice and thick. It's grabbable now, okay? Just get a good handful of that scroll bar. Yeah. You even make it go faster, too.
We don't have that problem on console.
It's all customizable in the innie. You take 10 scrolls to get to the bottom. I take 3. We are not the same. And while we're at it, why not also enhance the dialogue interface? This is going to widen dialogue lines, so some lines don't take up 2 lines. It's gonna...
Again, does this mod here fix the game? No, but it does help people that want to make it look like this, where they don't like the blocky.
I'm going to center it, and it's also going to eliminate the black background for a subtle text shadow for improved readability. Now, that is definitely debatable, though, because in some lighter settings, it still does kind of disappear a little bit. And I think this one is going to come down to mostly personal.
Right, and if you look at it, is that a better thing, right? Because now they got the black background, because they probably looked at it as a design standpoint and was like, well, that white text gets lost down there. Okay, so it's hard for you to read. So that's why they highlight it the way they did. So does it make it better?
Personal preference and customizability, as the INI allows you to modify it in any which way possible, including making the text smaller, larger, right-centered, change the space between the lines, change the font. You can even add the background back, change its opacity, even its color. I mean, just look at all of this.
I don't know if I want the different... That's kind of hard to read. But each their own, I guess. Do what you want.
Customization. I mean, the options are truly limitless here. This is really a do whatever the fuck you want to do kind of mod. But this next mod is truly a game changer. If there's any one mod you should be taking from this episode, it is this. Do not sleep on this. It's called Undelayed Menus. You see, the reason why the UI feels so clunky, slow, and just overbearing is because of all the animations and pauses that occur between them.
I think this mod alone is just says this has got to be made by some young whippersnapper. You know what I mean? Someone that doesn't want to wait that extra 3 seconds, right? Milliseconds, I meant to say, right? You can move much faster now by clicking things. It doesn't wait as much. All right.
Vanilla Starfield is rough, man. Navigating the wide-ass menus are time-consuming enough, but put all these delays and animations in between.
Think about what he just said there. Moving through the wide-ass menus takes up time. Trying to save millis of a second.
Navigating the wide-ass menus are time-consuming enough, but put all these delays and animations in between that. I'm not gonna lie, I rarely wanted to open my inventory and do any sort of management because it felt so slow. This mod fixes that. gets rid of that bullshit. By the time you've opened your menu and gone to the right place in your inventory, I've already done that like 3 times. And you know how when you're navigating through the planets and stuff and you want to tab back out into the game, you have to press tab like 7 times just to get there? And then that's why they added the feature to just hold tab to get back in the game immediately, but then for some reason added like another half-second delay pause before that even happens. That's gone now too. Just hold.
It's true. You can back out 3 times or hold the B button, which takes 3 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, takes the exact same amount of times if you just backing out.
Tab and you're out. You're out. No waiting. This genuinely makes the game so much more playable. It's not even funny. I cannot play this game without it. Seriously. Now let's change the player health bar with enhanced player health bar. And it's simply going to change your health bar color at 7.
Now see, this is something that you don't even think of, right? It's a quality of life thing. Is it necessary? No. Does it make it better? Does it enhance it? Yeah. But does it fix it? I don't think it fixes it. I think it enhances it to make it like, why didn't they do this? Right? Why didn't they do this?
75% health, 50%, and then 25%. Versus vanilla, where it only turns red at around like 40%, and then that's about as much warning as you're gonna get. It's nice to be more aware of the progress of my death. But you know when I'm truly dying? When I run across an expert lock and I'm just like...
Okay. Look, the lock-picking system is not that hard. There was that one that I had on stream that I was struggling with. But now I figured it out, okay? You only need 2 locks per level. 2 locks per level, okay? That's what you do. And they turn blue if they fit into the thing.
Is it this one? Do I start with this one? Maybe that one? I don't know. Yeah, that looks right. Yeah, 10 rounds later.
See? They turn blue.
Maybe that one. I don't know. Yeah, that looks right. Yeah. 10 rounds later.
See, it turns blue when it fits. Okay?
You're like, wait a sec. Fuck. You got like no undos, no more digipicks left, and you're like, shit. Look, I'm not saying.
Why would you run out? Just back out. See, it's stuff like this. Does it fix it? No, it kind of cheats the system. But hey, anyone wants to play this, you play the game how you want to play.
This is cheating or anything. But like, let's say if every single digipick you went up to kind of looked like this. Oh, hey.
So it's just 1 in everything.
Hey. Yeah.
Oh, for God's sakes.
We'll put that.
Why not just make a mod where you just open the door then? Why even have a lockpick at this point?
One there, and then that one there. Oh my God. Oh, look.
Why don't you just make a skeleton key? Just like all doors unlock. Why even have a lock?
Look at me. I am such a lockpicking.
Do you see? Like, why even make the key? Why even lockpick? Just skip the lockpicking completely.
Extraordinaire. You know, obviously this is gonna be for everyone.
Why even do the thing where you have to move it? Just press A, and then be done.
It's just going to be for the people that don't want to play the same minigame 17,000 times and would rather spend their time doing other things, which is perfectly...
I want to role play as on lockpicking, but I don't want to actually lockpick. Like, what? Just put the thing in to get rid of lockpicking.
Reasonable. You know, I'm not gonna judge if you get this mod, but I will judge you for getting this next mod, and that is the Dreaming Star main menu replacer. Look, the 2 anime girls shaking their asses were great. Great. But it wasn't lore friendly, or dare I say immersive. You know, it really took me out of the space theme every time I started the game up. Now this gives me the wonderment of...
I mean, that is a better Starfield start screen. I think what's his name would give a better rating for the start screen if this was it.
Space and occasionally a boner. We just look at those planets. My God, they're so round.
Definitely see the moons on that thing.
Soft and supple. God, I just want to explore her Milky Way. I mean the Milky Way. In fact, I thought this was so immersive that I even got his pause screen replacement as well. You know, whenever I'm in a tense, hard situation, I pause the game.
I mean, that start screen is a 10 now.
And I just get harder. I get a good deep breath and I get back into it. In fact, I love this mod so much that I even got the Dreaming Star Artifact Vision Replacer. That's right, whenever I touch an artifact, I don't see those dumb, stupid lights and sounds.
That's great.
I see something far more beautiful, far greater. I can just shed a tear. God, that's so immersive. It was incredible. Like a dream. Or a vision.
Don't go having an experience on me.
Oh, I had an experience, all right. A full body or...
All this trouble for that stupid thing? Huh, sure don't look like much.
It's worth more than this mine has pulled in all month.
It truly...
Yeah, for sure, Rose. This fixes the game. This is definitely a fix. We wouldn't have had this whole conversation on the internet about the title screen, about the devs being lazy about making the Starfield start screen. I mean, this would have completely got rid of that whole conversation. What would we have done then?
Changes the entire meaning of the game, and that's not even a joke. But hey, if you want some in-game waifus, we're not quite there yet. You know, baby steps. Let's start with improving the eyes of everybody with the Eyes of Beauty. Lockram's Eyes of Beauty have always...
I'm trying to see... I mean, I can't really tell. I kind of see a difference. There's a little bit more, like, you can see the white light. Like, for instance, like, you can see the light shining off my eye, right? From there. And you can sort of see that, like, a little bit here, but you can see it more defined over here. And the edging, right? This is, like, more of a gray. And this is, they've toned this more where it sticks out a little bit more. I mean, it does look better, but, I mean...
been the standard for eye mods across all Bethesda games. It could be because each texture is drawn and assembled by hand, and he even has photographic evidence of his hand literally drawing the eyeballs. You know, vanilla eyes are very striking, sharp, they stick out, just like in all Bethesda games. I swear to God, they just kind of...
Yeah, you see? It's, like, toned down. You can definitely see the lights better inside the eyes.
Cycle the same texture, but his eyes have soul. They have character. I can stare into them and get lost in the universe. The largest star systems are not the ones that we're exploring, but the ones in these eye textures that he is drawing. They're just so rich with detail yet so human, and I can't recommend these eye textures more, as I do in basically every Bethesda game. Now, as with every Bethesda game, we always have this kind of vote of who made the most attractive face with the character creation, and you're probably curious as to who it is for Starfield, and that would be, drumroll please, Hannah, a Korean female preset. That's right.
This is the most downloaded mod right now.
Right, folks, this is the most popular face out right now. 12,000
12,000 people downloaded the Korean girl mod.
downloads, 65k views. Here she is in different lighting conditions because I don't want to oversell her beauty, because God knows, in Bethesda's lighting conditions, someone can go from like a 9 out of 10 to a 1 out of 10. Well, congratulations, sir. You are this year's winner. There are now 10,000 people walking around as a Korean female. What does that say about us Starfield players? And now, finally, one really crucial change before we close out this episode. You know, since there really aren't...
Where are these people in their bathing suits in the game? I've never even been to this place. Where is this at?
Not that many waifus. Really, Sarah is one of our only few options. You know, I'm really shocked she hasn't left my ass, considering I pissed her off about...
Oh, God. Sarah's always mad at me in this game. Always mad at me.
17,000 times per play session. You know, many of you are trying to romance her right now, probably. So this mod's going to be really essential for you, and it's called Round Butt Sarah. You know, 16...
Oh, Dupless is the one that posted. He posted this one in our Discord.
times butt details for the wife.
16 times the butt detail.
Now, is it true? Is it really 16 times detail? Or is he...
This definitely fixes the game, right? This is a mod that fixes the game. I mean, if it wasn't for this mod, I mean, the game would at least goes from an 87 to an 88 now.
pulling a Todd Howard here? Well, I took 16 hours to conduct extensive research on the polygonal detail that was injected here, and I can indeed conclude that Sarah does, in fact, do have that dumpy, though. Look, I can
I love it.
confirm, as the most trusted mod reviewer on YouTube, I give this my stamp of approval. Well, I'm running off to MXR Plays now.
All right. So there you go. All right. Look at all the mods for this. Okay. Look at this. The game has been out officially for like 4 days. Okay. And it's been out for a week in early access. Okay. You got all of these mods. Insane, stunning features. I got, you know what? Hold on. I can't open stuff because if it's showing something that, you know, I want to make sure it doesn't show any kind of nudity or anything like that. I mean, the characters do look better on this one, right? So you can see the detail that they've added to this. Let's see. What else we got? We got exit ship. Oh, you can exit your ship. Oh, look at that. You can literally get out of your ship and do a spacewalk. Right? Does it fix the game? No, but it does enhance the game. What else we got here? We got... Here's another pre-character Vex. This is a girl that you could pick as a preset. There you go. Let's see what else we got here. We got the Star Wars mod. Let me see if I can find the Star Wars mod. Where basically you could turn everybody that was in your that's in the United Coalition. I think they turned it into... Well, they have one for Data. Is he in the actual game? Oh, it's just the action figure there. Or not Data, Data. Jesus Christ. There you go. You can turn you have a mod where you can turn the whole, where is that? You can turn the whole UC into stormtroopers. Right? Now, this is where it gets interesting, right? And I said this before the game even came out. I said I give them a month to get a Star Wars mod in. And obviously they didn't even need that long. Obviously it's just getting the stormtroopers in the game right now to walk around as the guards. But it's still pretty fun, right? Again, does it fix the game? No. Does it make the game better for Star Wars fans? If I could be in the Star Wars universe in this game, I mean that's pretty badass. Man, I finished the Crimson Fleet quest line last night, 250,000 credits, about to build a Millennium Falcon. Did you guys see the Millennium Falcon? We could bring that up. Guy built the Millennium Falcon, and he does a step-by-step on how to build it, and it's amazing, right? Amazing. Yeah, but there's literally Hundreds of mods. What do we got? Per page, we have 5, 10, 15, 20. 20, and we have 8 pages. You got UI mods, you got a bunch of stuff. All right, let me bring up Is this the build? Yeah. Now this is one build. Okay, this is one build of the Millennium Falcon. Okay, he literally breaks down the entire thing. We'll speed this up. All right, we'll go through. Breaks down the entire thing and then pieces it together. And it's actually, I mean, pretty goddamn good. It's pretty goddamn good. Oh, sure. But did you know, Silent, you could also go to the, which I haven't done yet, right? I found it finally. The simulator, you can actually get your stuff upgrade. Like, you could do your skill level stuff in the simulator. You don't actually have to take your ship into battle. There's also another one for the Razor Crest, which looks amazing as well. So is the news over? Yeah, that's all. We only do 3 stories, Travis. We don't do 3 stories. We do 3 stories, and then I mean, I think my time's pretty good. We 2 hours, hour and a half to 2 hours. All right, look at this thing. All right, so let me fast forward a little bit more. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That thing's got to weigh a ton. I can't see what his mass is. He's got a lot of stuff on there. How do you rotate? How do you rotate a piece? I know you can flip a piece, but can you rotate a piece? And is that something that you can do at a higher skill level? I appreciate it, Travis. Because I know you can flip it, but I didn't know you could rotate. Because those pieces, this piece right here, like this piece and this piece, I could have sworn they were the other direction when I use them. Like these pieces, this one and this one. Can you rotate? Undo, redo, color, select. I mean, that looks pretty good. I want to know what it looks like inside. Oh, that looks pretty goddamn good. That looks pretty good. I'll tell you what, though. See, okay, so speaking of the center mass, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So because it's 6 wide, it's gonna be hitting here. Okay? This is where the center point is of the vehicle. Okay, so what a lot of people are doing is that, like, so if you only had 4, then it would be here. If you had 5, then it would be in the center here. If you have 2, it's splitting between this one and this one. You see what I'm saying? So what people are doing is they're building ships that are odd shaped, so they don't get hit while they're in space. Oh, what is this? Yeah, look. This is pretty good. So this is a mod that someone created that you can go out in space. Right? You can get out of your ship and float in space. Now, why didn't they put this in the game? There's probably a lot of reasons they didn't put this in the game, right? Because now you're out there, what are you gonna do? Right? Now someone will be like, well, now I'm gonna float all the way to the next planet. Right? But you can, right? But you can do what you want. I don't know what you're gonna do here. Now, if you can exit your ship and land into another ship, that might be pretty cool. Right? There's people making a lot of videos. This is why people like, it doesn't make any sense, right? But people like this, right? Because they can do the mods and whatnot. And they're showing you the physics of every piece of object in the game. And it all has physics, right? I know people, we talked about it on Friday. Lono brought it up saying, you know, is it the engine? Is the engine the reason that the game is suffering and why it looks the way it does? And I stayed by, well, if they lose that, then they lose the identity of what the game is, right? Their creation engine is the reason that people like Bethesda games. Regular shipbuilding, do cheese and AI, genius. Yeah, but the thing is, Sarge, people play the game how they want to play, and that's the beautiful part, right? I don't think that Bethesda's going to put a bug fix in there to be like, well, now it's going to shoot everything, right? I don't think they're going to do that. They're going to be like, yep, someone got it, whatever. Oh, I know, Kylo. I know. Imagine that my opinions made a whole bunch of people. You should see the comments that I'm getting. Not even just the personal messages I'm getting because of my thought process of why I like Starfield. It's amazing. It's amazing. Trying to see if there's other. What is this? One of my companions had disappeared during during stealth and wouldn't come back for like 4 hours. Sarge had a massive glitch happen. So he was in a firefight. This is what he described to me. He was in a firefight, and then he used his ability. And you know when you use the ability, it makes the sound like the gravity one, whatever. And he lost sound, and then got stuck in that sound wave where everything sounded. It was like going real slow. And he's like, I rebooted my game. I did it multiple times. I tried different things. I was on the phone with him trying to help him. I was like, well, did you try this? Did you go here? Did you do that? You reset your Xbox. Apparently, when he reset it, it didn't work. But he shut it down for a bit. It came back later in the day, turned it on, and it fixed itself. But there's like little bugs like that happen. That at that point, he was like, even my save game is just, he went back to a different save, still sounded the same until it, you know, this is why an 88 is a trash game. Right, Rose. Right? Which I think is just funny, right? I think people's are just absurd. The amount of things that you can do in this game and what can happen in this game is absolutely fantastic. It really is. It's an experience. And I said that on Friday. I've said that on Maestro, right? It's an experience. If you want to experience it, experience it. I'm not saying because it's Bethesda they get away with it. I'm not saying that the game isn't perfect in any way, shape, or form, right? I'm saying that you're either going to like it or you're not going to like it. That's just what it is, right? That's just what it is. That goes for any game. Take Starfield out of the equation, okay? There's games that come out like Redfall that are broke, buggy, incomplete, and that gets what it deserves. Then there's games that come out that are completely fine. For a Bethesda standard game, this is the best Bethesda has launched a game. Not to say there's nothing wrong with the game, but the hate that Fallout 76 got is what's happening now, and they're not even close to the same problems. Not even close to the same problems, right? And then you talk about Baldur's Gate 3, right? And Baldur's Gate 3 has just as many problems. Crashes, falling through the map, all the stuff. Nobody talks about that because the pros are better than the cons. Okay? And no one hated Baldur's Gate before, right? Just the majority of population didn't play a Baldur's Gate game back when it was out, 13 years ago. You're either going to like it or you'll be playing Baldur's Gate 3. A lot of people, though, same thing, Travis. A lot of people are not going to like Baldur's Gate 3. It doesn't take anything away from Baldur's Gate 3. A lot of people will not like the type of game that Baldur's Gate 3 is. Wouldn't let me leave the eye after I docked. It kept setting me outside of my ship. Kept exiting and entering the ship until it worked. I had a bug on stream the other day, and it was actually pretty funny. Andraja was with me. We were in a mission, and my gun wouldn't shoot. I couldn't shoot my gun. So I pretend I ran up to her, and role-playing wise, I was like, I need you to kill everyone for me. And then I ran back in the thing, right? And then I punched her with my gun by accident because I couldn't kill the last guy. Like, stuff happens, okay? And I'm not making excuses for what it is. I'm not saying it's a perfect game in any way, shape, or form, but the amount of pros in this game, in Starfield, what happens, is amazing to the cons that happen. And sometimes the cons are just funny as hell. I don't think I like it because of the type of RPG, but I'm loving it now, and cutscenes are fantastic. For which one, Soups? For Baldur's Gate 3? I really like how many cutscenes are in Baldur's Gate 3. I love story, man. Right? You guys play for some action and for graphics and for other stuff. I play for story. And I know I might be the outsider of this, but I watch a movie for story. I watch a TV show for story. I watch or read a book for story. I play video games for story. Hell, I even like when they do sports, and then the announcers kind of make a story, right? Kid came growing up, suffered, whatever, came up, got to the majors, and now he won the MVP. That's a story, right? I love stories, man. It's not perfect. That's just it, though. See, this is the problem that Starfield's in. Everyone's like, it's perfect. It's not perfect. Baldur's Gate 3 is not perfect, right? It's fantastic, but it's not perfect. Not sure it'll take like Baldur's Gate 3 right now, but would have loved it 10 years ago. I could see that, Jones, right? I think the expectations, okay, is what people's problems are. They make their own expectations for something. Nobody had expectations for Baldur's Gate 3. There was nothing that it was sitting up on a bar that it had to be. There was no one breaking down Baldur's Gate before it came out. Right? Plus, Baldur's Gate 3 was in 2 years of play state that people got to play it. 2 years to give, right? So, technically, Baldur's Gate 3 released 2 years ago and then got fixed to what it is to this launch once it launched to be what it is today. I wouldn't be in that type of game, RPG, 10 years ago. Well, most people weren't, Soups. Most people weren't. It's a very niche community. Very niche community. You got to remember, a lot of people, you could be 60 years old. You could be 70 years old right now and play video games, right? You could be 50 years old and be playing video games. But we all started 40 years ago, 42 years ago, right? 45 years ago, when they all started coming out with Atari and then Nintendo. We all started at a point, okay? And then we all played games, right? So, like, the oldest gamers playing games, even if they're 70 years old, we all been playing games since the exact same amount of time. 42, 43, 45 years. That's the oldest gamers on the planet, okay? No matter how old you are, you only have this much experience because that was the starting point of video games, okay? So as RPGs came out and the older people got, now there's older people that played games that we played Police Quest and King's Quest, and we loved the old school type of games. Now we're playing games. And then there's other people that never played games, and now they're getting into games and they're older. And they're like, oh man, I remember playing D&D. I remember playing this type of stuff. It's a completely different beast. I used to think Bethesda was amazing, but then story became very important to me. And I was like, there is, in my opinion, just okay. And to say that, though, Travis, I think you might be playing role-playing wrong. Right? Because if you just do the main story in any Bethesda game, they're just kind of okay. And I'll agree with you there. But I don't take the main story as the story. I take the world building of what it is. Right? You have a problem with Elden Ring not giving you a story, but the story is built within reading stuff and the context of what the world building is. And then you have a problem with Fallout and the way Bethesda does storytelling, where they go above and beyond what Elden Ring did, where not only do they give you the vast amount of world building to tell the story, but they also give you the dialogue for the story building. But the background stuff is the story. You see what I'm saying? It's not just the main story. This is what I'm saying. There's a main story, but the whole game is the story. You are the character. You're living in the world. So if you just did the main story and that's what you want, you'd be like, it's okay. But your character can be a part of the UC, or they could be part of the Crimson Fleet. You could be whatever you want. You could be a smuggler. You could do it. You can make the story as good or as shitty as you want it to be. That's why they win so much. This is why they're nominated for so many things. I was so heavy into turn-based combat back then, but now I can only do small doses. Right? But they do have a story, and it's actually a really good story, but it's not the traditional story that you wanted. See, that's what I explain to people. The main story is but my story is great because I make it whatever I want. Right? But that's what I'm saying, though. The main story, the reason the main story is there, the only reason the main story is there, is for people that buy the game and go, I beat the game. That's it. That's the only reason the main story is there. I played the game I played the game, I beat the game. And that's the check mark for them, for Bethesda. They're like, we got a story in there. So people that want to play the game, beat the game, they got the credits rolling. Okay? Then there's everybody else. I got plenty of stories for Jack Burton. Right? I got plenty of stories for Jack Burton. I'm not just doing the main quest going, okay, I beat the game, got the credits rolling, blah, blah, blah. I have no idea when I'm going to complete the game. I have no idea when I want to roll credits. Like, I'm trying to put my character, and I want to make the story. I have yet to make the first episode. I do Captain's Log when we're playing, and I'm role-playing and stuff like that. But I haven't made the first episode yet, because the more I play the game, the more I'm looking at it going, how do I want to do this? How do I want to make my character? I'm so low leveled, and I don't want to do a let's play of my character. I want to do a story of my character. And to do that, I got to get my skills up. And to get my skills up, I have to play the game. And when I play the game, I have to go through the stuff. And I want to have this role-playing experience, but I also want to get my ship to where I want it to be before I start the series. I want to do a bunch of things before I start the series. I want to role play as Jack Burton to get him so I can get enough footage, create the character, and then make the story. I don't want to take their story as my story. I want to make my story my story. I love how you pick that name for your character every time. Yeah, it's just something like, it's part of my childhood. You know what I mean? I love, Jack Burton's not my favorite character, right? The reason Jack Burton came about is because every time I played an MMO or anytime I played a game where you had to pick a name for your character, that would never be chosen. So I would just pick it. I would pick it because nobody was Jack Burton. Yeah, my guy looks like Jack Burton. Yeah. Right? And I was like, how do I be Jack Burton? And this is a perfect game for Jack Burton. Let me see if I can get a picture for you. I'll put up on screen. That's Jack right there. That's Jack Burton right there. And my ship has changed since then. I moved around my stuff for my ship. Big universe, little spacecraft, yeah. That's the Pork Chop Express behind me. Right? That's the Pork Chop Express. I'm having so much fun in the game just being whatever, just doing whatever. I love interacting. I love interacting with I love interacting with the NPCs, even though you know, they're not talking back to me. It is what it is. So looking at it, I think Frontiers of Pandora will be a good, not perfect, but good. Someone said the other day, Pandora, Avatar Pandora is their, what's that game? Oh my God, Far Cry. They said that's this year's Far Cry. I was like, I wonder if that's a good comparison. I was thinking about it. I don't know much about the game, but I was just like, I can see that. Yeah, there are rumors, not rumors. There's actual evidence. There's a Big Trouble in Little China too, but it stars The Rock, and he is not Jack Burton, but it takes place after. It's in the same universe, sort of like Jumanji. Jumanji didn't take Robin Williams' character. That's not who Dwayne Johnson played. But it takes place in the same universe. So it's Big Trouble in Little China, but it's a continuation, not a sequel, not a reboot. It's more of a takes place in the same. And I'm sure Kurt Russell will be in. They're having problems right now trying to, like, nail it down to what it's supposed to be. I don't know what the Star Eagle is, T-Bear, and the fact that I don't want you to tell me. I don't want you to tell me what it is, right? The fact that I don't know what that is and I have 88 hours in the game should say a lot. If he was Jack Burton, I boycott the whole movie. Yeah, no, he's not Jack Burton. Far Cry is a good for an action game, and I love those games. Making a good play style with IP, I like just as awesome. Yeah, I just never really like put two and two together. I'm like looking at it going, that's actually a pretty good example for what we've seen. I want to play as much as possible, do as many things as possible. Go to, like, once I level the character that I want up to a certain point, I can literally go to any planet, make up a story, and be like, hey, we're doing a hauling job, and we're bringing it to, you know, this quadrant, and I land on the planet, and while I deliver my goods, all of a sudden shit goes wrong, right? And now I have to help the villagers, right? It's almost like an episode of Mando or the episode of the A-Team, where the A-Team rolls up and they have to help people, even though they're being wanted from the cops and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I kind of want to make with Jack Burton inside of Starfield. Oh, I got busted again. I got pulled over by the cop, the space cops. They took all my stuff. I couldn't escape them fast enough. Willing to bet it feels sort of like Division or Ghost Recon style game for Outlaws. No, I think Star Wars Outlaws is going to feel, wait for this, it's going to feel like Red Dead Redemption. What I mean by that is that you can go where you want and do what you want inside Red Dead Redemption. You can visit the towns and think of towns as different planets, and there's going to have towns and stuff on there. And you're going to have this massive story. You're going to have this really good story, sort of like Red Dead Redemption 2. And you're going to do space travel. You're going to have these preloaded scenes just like Starfield, but they're going to have 5 planets that are really handcrafted, that they're the size of Division 2, you know, of Washington, D.C., maybe bigger, right? I think that's what we're going to get. I'm not trying to make my expectations that. That's what I think. The way that it was described, right? The way it was described and what I've known from people telling me, that's what I feel like it's going to be. To me, it looks like it's going to feel like Uncharted. But Uncharted is very linear. Very linear. Already, it's not going to be that. Are you talking about Avatar, Rose, or are you talking about Outlaws? I don't know what the back of the nightclub is. I haven't been to the club either. Oh, I meant in the gunplay. I got you. Yeah, probably then. Part 4 had big open spaces. Open spaces as big as Division, Rose? Because that's what the developer was saying. They're going to have big maps as big as Division. Is that what Uncharted? I don't remember Uncharted ever having open areas like that. There was a leak just recently, like I found it this weekend, and it was I'll describe it. It was a picture of it was a video of the character supposedly from Grand Theft Auto 6 on a tram, and he gets out of the tram on the tram station, and in the background you can see downtown Miami, and I was just like, oh. For a split second, I was like, this game is gonna be nuts, dude. Grand Theft Auto 6 size comparison is gonna be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Oh yeah, it had some good sized maps, but it's still linear. I would say that Gears of War, the last Gears of War did sort of like what Uncharted did, like open areas, sort of like God of War type of stuff. Travis, stop. GTA 6 will not flop. It will not flop. A flop of what caliber? That it's going to sell less than the first GTA 6? A flop that's going to sell less than the last GTA 5? Like, what are we talking about? A flop. That is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Grand Theft Auto 6 will shatter every single record known to man when it comes out. Mark that. It will shatter pre-sales. It will shatter day one, week one, month one, year one. It will dominate everything. Remove the cussing in the strip clubs, the female main character, not even the GTA fan. I think that's a stupid move. You don't know any of that's happening. Exactly, Rose. Exactly. Exactly. That game is going to dominate. Elder Scrolls 6 says hello that year, and Grand Theft Auto may struggle. I mean, Grand Theft Auto will be out before 8 years. Akuta Papa. The Elder Scrolls 6 game will come out by 2030. Maybe. No, I don't know where these people are getting it $150. I mean, right now there's $150 games, so what's the difference, right? People paid $125 for Battlefield 2042. Okay? I don't know where people are getting that the standard price is going to be $150, but people are going to say whatever they want. It's the internet. So even if it did come out as $150, I guarantee you it would still break sales records and everything. Not amount of money. I'm talking about actual physical copies sold. Right. Rose paid $240 for Spider-Man 2. So does it really matter if it's $150? What, T-Bear? Grand Theft Auto's story with the 3 protagonists was fantastic. There's games that can't even write story for 1 protagonist. They did it for 3. Okay, if I was like, I don't even want to tell you what I spent for Destiny 2. I'm sure it would, 30? Hell, I can't understand how GTA 5 sold as much as it did, but I can't deny its sales. I mean, you think, Travis, you almost went the whole stream without a bad take. You think that GTA 6 is going to flop? It's going to be. You think it's going to flop? He's always on something. I think it will do less than GTA 5 if they pull that wolf crap. Travis, they'll do what? Lifetime? Pre-orders? First day? First week? First month? What do you mean it's going to do less? Even with the woke crap, as you say, right? Even if they do the woke crap, first year, you think it'll do less than GTA 5? It will sell more. It will sell more in 6 months than the first game did in 1 year. Let's see what it made in the first year. GTA 5 year 1 sales. Let's see. No, I need copies, not year 1 sales. Copies sold, because it made in 3 days. It made $1 billion. That's going to be destroyed. That's going to be destroyed. It made $800 million in the first 24 hours. That's going to be destroyed. That's going to be destroyed. Let's see. It's 145 mil. Performance some 20 million we sold in 2020 alone. How many copies was sold? Do they have the first achieve impressive total of over 405 million video game copies? So that's the whole franchise. Let's see. I need to know. Come on, give me GTA 5 copies sold. First year. Gotta be an article about it. The 20 million? All keeps popping up. 20 million. Grand Theft Auto has sold at least 10 million copies every single year since launch. Yeah, but that's... I need to know what it sold. Is this a chart here? What is this chart? Came out in September of 2013. Game played either third person, first person gameplay, plot, developed. Initial release. Awards. No, they don't tell you the sales. Sales. Within 24 hours of release, Grand Theft Auto 5 generated more than 815 million in worldwide revenue. Okay, approximately 11.21 million copies sold for Take-Two Interactive. The number nearly doubled analyst expectations for the title. 3 days after its release, the game had surpassed $1 billion in sales, making it the fastest-selling entertainment product. 6 weeks after it released, Rockstar had shipped nearly 29 million copies of the game to retailers, exceeding its lifetime figures of Grand Theft Auto 4. On the 7th of October, the game became the best-selling digital release on PlayStation stores, PlayStation 3 breaking the previous record from The Last of Us, though numerical sales figures were not disclosed. It broke 7 Guinness Book World Records on 8th of October. Best-selling video game in 24 hours. Best-selling action-adventure video game in 24 hours. Highest-grossing video game in 24 hours. Fastest entertainment property to gross $1 billion. Fastest video game to gross $1 billion. Highest revenue generated by an entertainment product in 24 hours. And most viewed trailer to an action-adventure video game. The digital version was released on the 18th of October of Xbox 360, which went to become the highest-grossing Day 1, Week 1 release on Xbox Live. By 2014, the game had generated nearly $1.9 billion in revenue. As of August of 2024 or 2014, the game has sold over 34 million units to retailers for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. By December of 2014, the game had shipped 45 million copies, including 10 million copies of the re-release version. By April 2018, the game had generated about $6 billion worth of estimated. It will break every record that it broke when this version came out. This next version will break all the records that one broke. Against the woke crap, hell, my trans friend said the main character is trans. It'll ruin the franchise. Okay. I wish I had a tissue box here, because I will remove your friend from the box, and there's that whole other box. There's still people just keep coming out. You can leave, and yet there's another person ready to buy something. We got a new season Diablo 3 starting Friday at 5 p.m. You gonna play? Nope. I deleted it from my Xbox, B. I will go back to Diablo maybe by next summer. Maybe by next summer. If they alienate the core audience, it'll be a Budweiser issue. Again, you are so hyperbolic. Not going to happen. Because when push comes to shove, gamers are addicted. The same people that bitch about microtransactions are the people that buy microtransactions. The people that complain about loot boxes are the same people that buy loot boxes. The same people that hate Call of Duty for reasons unknown, they play Call of Duty. The people that don't like Madden football because it's the same, they buy Madden football. That's what it is. Right. People boycotted GTA 5 and look what it did. Yeah. I enjoyed Diablo before it released seasons. Yeah, until they basically destroyed the reason to play the game. For me, lots of people are having fun. I'm sure there's hundreds of thousands of people still playing Diablo. I'm good. I bet most gamers that boycott BF5 bought it later. I boycotted it after I played it. I said, I'm not playing this. Not until it went to Game Pass, though, Jones. I didn't pay anything for it. Haven't bought microtransactions. Haven't done anything, right? But I did go back and I did enjoy Battlefield. Not Battlefield 5. Battlefield 2042. Battlefield 5. We did boycott it. We didn't buy it at launch. Was it 1 year later? That was 5 months later. 5 months later, I got my copy and Sarge's copy for $40, and we enjoyed it, right? So for $40, 2 copies of the game, right? But you're right? People that boycott will buy it later because the price goes down. You're like, it's worth it for that, right? Didn't people boycott Hogwarts? Look at that now, right? Exactly. I think it's the top selling game this year, or one of the top selling games this year, right? It sold 15 million copies. 15 million copies. No, but people in Congress, whenever Grand Theft Auto comes out, I'm sure there'll be some congressperson standing up telling you how bad Grand Theft Auto is and how it's making the violence in video games. It's helping what the world is today. No one said that for years for Grand Theft Auto. I'm sure it's time. Just know, when governments talk about video games, that's when you know they sold a shit ton. When they bring up a specific game, okay? For instance, Star Wars Battlefront 2, the whole microtransaction and loot box scenario, okay? Regardless if everyone thinks Star Wars Battlefront 2 was a bad game, they sold over 10 million units. 12 million units, I believe it was. Okay? It sold a crap ton for it to be a botched game and flop. Now, let's see. Here one. 2017. Yeah, EA sold about 9 million copies of Battlefront 2 during the first 3-month period. Those are people that hated the game. I'm not buying Star Wars. Let's boycott EA. Yeah, 9 million copies sold. Yeah. And then there's articles like this. Star Wars Battlefront 2 disappoints with over 7 million sold. What? What? Disappoints? 7 million sold? So what happened to Final Fantasy this year? Oh, it only sold 3.3 million. That must be devastating. I hear that, Travis. boycotting. Here it says, let me see what this one says. Star Wars Battlefront 2 physical sales down 60% on Battlefront 1 to reach the equal. Is that true? Let's see. Battlefront 1 year 1 sales. What did they sell for Battlefront 1? Was that 2015, right? EA confirms that Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 have sold over 33 million. Yeah, but what did 1 sell? Star Wars Battlefront sales topped with 14 million. Okay. In the fiscal year report of 2016, Electronic Arts revealed that Star Wars Battlefront 1 sold 14 million copies. So it only made it made 60% less, or 40% less. 40% less. Battlefront 1 to 2. Right? But it still sold 7 million. Right? But do you see why it's disappointing? Because it sold less. Right? They chose to put microtransactions in the game because they said we had 14 million people that bought Battlefront 1, and now we can monetize those 14. And 7 million, right? Was it 7 or 9? It was 7, right? So half the people left because they boycotted or whatever. But now the total sales, okay, because it went on to sell together 33 million units, right? Which is the same as the grand finale of Spider-Man 1 and 2, Miles Morales. That sold 32 million copies sold. So that is a success story, and yet Battlefront 1 and 2 is a sad, pathetic story. How? Right? Because you could take the same formula, right? You could take the same formula. Spider-Man 1 sold double the amount of Spider-Man Miles Morales, and together they sold 32 million copies. So Miles Morales was a less of a game, so it was terrible, right? Right? But Star Wars Battlefront, that's... Right? Battlefront, let's see. Battlefront 1 got a 73. And Battlefront 2 got a 68. But why did it get a 68? Look, it had a user score of 1.7. That's because review bomb. That's because of review bombing. Because people were unhappy with the loot boxes. Even though they were never in the game at launch. Battlefront 2 was a fantastic at the end. At the end. Anyone to spend $65 on something they don't need for a price that they don't want is impressive to me. Now, excuse me as I go pre-order. Respawn is the only people that could touch Star Wars right now. I don't know. Outlaws looks pretty good, T-Bear. And that's Ubisoft. In comparison to Battlefront 1, God of War must be a failure. Oh, for sure. Because didn't God of War only sell... What did God of War sell? Yeah, God of War only sold four. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong one. Hold on, that's older one. Lifetime, it sold 15 million, right? But what did it get? What did it get? 5.1 million units, right? In the first year. 5.1. 3.1 million in the first 3 days. Just over a year. 10 million. My mistake. 10 million. 10 million units just over a year. Just over a year. Right? So, I guess that's a shit game, right? Only thing I don't like about the world change is bring back the wave-based survival mode. What do you think about getting skill points when you order the deluxe version of Spider-Man 2? I mean, it's a single-player game, Silent. I don't think it's a problem. But at the same time, why? Again, I'm not the clientele they're shooting for. Why would I pay to skip the game? Do you know what I mean? Why would I pay to skip the game? The reason I'm playing a game is to play the game. Got no lightsabers overdone. Give me a little break from it. Ratchet and Clank Drift is definitely a failure at only 1.1 million units. Is it? Was that for the first year? Yeah, but that was the what was the user base when it came out? Ratchet and Clank 3.7 million. Ratchet and Clank Going Commando 2.9 million. Ratchet and Clank Up in the Arsenal 3.2. It's got 3.7, 1.1 million copies in the first part. Yeah, well, how many PlayStations were out then? That's a big thing, right? Because didn't that come out? Was it Rift Apart? June 11, 2021? I mean, what was the... How many PlayStations did they have out in the market then? And it was only on PlayStation 5. You don't have to use it? Yeah, but still. Why, as a gamer, would you pay more money to skip the game? And obviously, why would you pay more to skip the game? Like, you're getting the game, and you're going to put stuff in. Now you're... What about if it makes you, like, the level 4 or 5? I don't know what it is, but it gives you that points. Now it makes it easier. What's the point? If I have points already before I level up, that means it's going to make it easier, so I'm going to blow through certain parts. I play on the hardest difficulty and really enjoyed the, going to do the same with the new one. Well, I bought the deluxe, so I got the extra suits, that's it. Well, extra suits are fine. I don't care about that, but if you're paying for to skip levels, right? It's almost like when you pre-order a gun in a game and that gun's just super OP, and now you're going through the lower levels and you're just destroying everything. It's like, what's the point? No one said we're using logic here. All right. I mean, all right. I personally like something, like when I learn something new, whatever that is, maybe I'm doing a pottery class or painting or playing baseball. I obviously, would it be nice if I could download it like Neo in the Matrix and just learn the stuff? Sure. But in reality, you learn and it's a little difficult or hard, and then it picks up and it becomes easier. Because as you get to go through the tutorial and understand things, like, I don't know. That's just me, though. That's just me. I will never pay for something to skip things if I enjoy playing the game. In my head, if you're paying to skip something, that means you don't enjoy it. And that's why you want to skip it. Right? If you don't enjoy early game, you just want to skip that so you go into the regular stuff, and then you complain later that the game was too short, or it was too easy, or it was, whatever. Jack Burton would never do pottery. All depends on how hot the pottery teacher is, Travis. Yeah, but that's not part of the conversation, Travis. We're not talking about buying something for cosmetics. I think Spider-Man unlocking the cosmetics and doing whatever it is for the cosmetics, cool. Now, I will push back a little bit on the cosmetics. And I get those extra cosmetics in the game, but just later down the road. Like, you paid for them to get them unlocked now. Can I earn them in the game, putting tens of hours in to get those? Or are those only locked behind paying for them? Because we had the same conversation for Gotham Knights. What are you talking about, Travis? I'm not Jack Burton. We're talking about the character Jack Burton. You said he would never do pottery. I said that it all depends on how hot the teacher is. According to Insomniac, the suits in the deluxe edition are solely for deluxe. See, I don't like that. I don't like that. Now, if you paid for it because people don't want to earn something, if you want to pay for it and you get it early, and then I beat the game and they unlock later, then I'm okay with that. Because you're paying for instant gratification. With Gotham Knights, you got the XP boost, which I feel was kind of needed. I mean, I didn't have that, and I did just fine. There's rumors of DLC happening, Travis, but we don't know. They're making an edition for Nintendo Switch now, supposedly, for Gotham Knights. So there could be after this launches, there could be some DLC coming. Who knows? Looking to see if there's any other news that popped up before we get off. When does that come out? When hands-on with Forza Motorsports, Xbox probably has another big win on its hands. So there you go. We'll take that for tomorrow. When does that come out? October, right? There's wait times happening again for Starfield. 190-minute wait time playing over the cloud. Interesting. I hope so. Like Gotham Knights, it was great to have a game, and it's also hate the argument most people use. It's just another Arkham game. You got 4 of those. How many do you need? Another big win in a racer with a niche market. There's a lot of games out there for motorsports racing, man. There's a lot. Microsoft is launching an Xbox credit card. Interesting. Okay. This picture right here warms my heart. I freaking love it. I might download Starfield now on PC just so I could do this. Love it. Just so I could be a stormtrooper. I mean, you do have some powers. It'd be pretty badass if I could be a Jedi. I have it. Died on PC. Make sure you clear some room. Oh yeah, I gotta remove a bunch of stuff. I got a lot of video content. I gotta move over to a different hard drive. Yeah. Yeah, I won't be a stormtrooper because I won't be able to hit anything. All right, 1 o'clock. I appreciate everyone coming out and hanging out with us this morning for reading the news. If you like it, make sure you hit that like button down below. We do this Monday through Thursday at 10 o'clock in the morning to about noon Eastern. We do 3 stories and cover it. If you like it, hit that like button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, you can become a member as little as $5. We do lots of different shows Monday through Thursday. We do a podcast on Thursday evenings. We do Let's Plays Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And we also do this news show Monday through Thursday. We also do a extra podcast with Lono on Fridays sometimes. And we also do extra streams on the weekends on Friday nights. You guys like all the content we make here? Again, hit that like button down below. We'll be back live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, for more Starfield, The Adventures of Captain's Log, The Adventures of Jack Burton. Join me tonight. I appreciate it very much, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for hanging out. Peace.